All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another KPC live with a changed time schedule. This is probably more comfortable for the US viewers all over the US from East Coast to West Coast. Yeah, I know some of you it's 8 p.m. right now. And like some of you in the morning maybe. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, today we are going to do another live stream, a fun live stream about a lot of topics, actually four topics. We're going to be talking about this recent APEC promo video that blew Korea's mind with a whole superstar lineup, including the president and G-Dragon himself. So that video has been talked about a lot in our country over the past week. And there's another issue regarding racism allegations towards a UK magazine called L, whatever, towards the Blackpink member Rose at her fashion what do you call it, fashion show or attendance at the Saint Laurent event or something like that. Also, we're going to be talking about the Chinese tourists pouring into Korea visa-free and what kind of backlash they are facing from the Korean public, actually towards the government. Yeah, our government. Last but not least, we'll talk about bread prices in Korea. And it's not just in general bread prices. There's an actual controversy going around regarding that topic, and it's getting huge backlash. So a lot of tea today. Before we go on, let me just greet some of you guys. New Jersey, it's 11:14 p.m. Okay, a little bit late over there. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Lynn and Big X. Whoop whoop. Hi, Missy Nyanko. Okay. Early Chuseok. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, it is actually Chuseok right now. I mean, like the holidays have already begun because it's like the weekend over here. So it's a 10-day weekend, a pretty long weekend for us Koreans. So everybody's just enjoying that at the moment. Yeah, so, also sorry for being a little late. You'll see a little later, but I've been playing with my interface a little bit here and there, so you'll be seeing a new kind of format soon. Okay, from Sweden, 5 a.m. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in at 5 a.m. Yummy yum yum. Welcome, welcome. M, hello. Francesca, 4:15 in the UK. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so this is a new time zone, and obviously, like, everyone's just very used to the old time zone, which is probably like in 12 hours from now. So I hope you get used to it pretty soon. I'm sorry for the Europeans in advance. But let's see how this goes. If this doesn't top as many viewers as I usually get, I might have to switch back. But, you know, like people aren't used to notifications at this time. So let's see if more people join. 5 a.m. in Norway as well, too. Okay. No, we are not going to be talking about Johnny Somali today, but maybe hopefully in the future. I'm just waiting for it to conclude. You know, we need a nail in the coffin before we talk about it, because like I know there's been a lot of YouTubers out there like milking that shit out, like every single update about Johnny Somali getting 1 million views. Maybe I should have done that too, but you know, it's just not my cup of tea. Okay, San Diego, it's 8:16 p.m. Hoodie Gang Loyalty, thank you. Thanks for the cinema hacks. Okay, yeah. Eunice is referring to my new Shorts account on Instagram, which is growing pretty rapidly and getting a lot of views. I am very, very happy. So if you go to Instagram and go to Daily David Kim, that's the ID over here, you will be able to see my Instagram account. Yes, I will show you guys later since we're on a tight schedule. No, actually, let me just show you now so that you guys can go follow over here. So yeah, this is the account over here, Daily David Kim, and I uploaded some movie hacks yesterday. This is the video. Go check it out. I make these daily vlog type of videos over here. This one's blowing up. Yeah, this is a money hack for solo living in Korea. Go check it out if you're interested. Jajangmyeon versus jampong and all these kind of things. North Korean food at a Michelin restaurant. So all these very interesting. Oh, this one blew up for sure. 4,037 people liked it. It's about a BTS video. So yeah, please do check out the new Instagram account if you want useful information, fun updates about my life on social media. Okay, so shall we just go on right into today's subject? All right. So what's going on in Korea? All right. So today's first subject will be drum roll. The APEC 2025 promo video. All right. So you can see the video over here. I hope you can see it. And let me just adjust the chat. So look at this cute little interface I made, like myself propped over here, a PowerPoint presentation over there, and the chat over there, and the Chuseok background. See, this was what I was busy for. So please give me some slack. But anyways, let me explain what happened. So the APEC 2025 video dropped, and figures like G-Dragon and President Lee and all the K-celebs have united. And I'm going to show you the video soon, but this is a 74-second star-studded teaser. It was released this Tuesday, was it? Or something like 3 days ago, and it was about to promote the 2025 APEC Summit in Gyeongju, starting at October 31st to November 1st. For the acronym APEC, I think it's probably Asia Pacific Economic Committee or something like that, okay? It's something about economics. And probably all the top presidents and leaders around the world are going to participate, including President Trump and Xi Jinping. Okay, the big battle is coming. But anyways, why this broke the internet was probably because the cast was just a superstar lineup. So the cast included G-Dragon, Ives, Chang Won-young, Park Ji-sung, Park Chan-wook, DJ Peggy Goo, Chef An Sung-jae, and President Lee Jae-myung. So let's first, see like the lineup. Like this is Chang Won-young. If you don't know, she's from IVE. She's one of the Changka, Seol, Yu. Chang Won-young comes first. Karina. Seol is Seolyun from NMIX, and Yu is Yuna from ITZY. Those are the four top visuals of K-pop, and she is at the front. I mean, it's just because of the pronunciation. I probably think Karina should come first, but anyways. Yeah, so Chang Won-young was over there, and also we had the legend Manchester United footballer Park Ji-sung, and then we have Park Chan-wook over here. He's the GOAT of Korean cinema. I have actually made a podcast about it on Patreon just yesterday about his new film, 어쩔 수가 없다. I Have No Choice. That's the English title. It was invited to the Cannes. It got a award at the Toronto International Film Festival. It's going for the Oscars, and the main lead Lee Byung-hun is running for an Oscar nominee as well too. So we'll have to see. Fingers crossed. I honestly don't. Go check out in my podcast about my own opinion. He's the top two with Bong Joon-ho in Korea. He's the director of Old Boy, The Handmaiden, Helger Kyoshim, Decision to Leave. Yeah, so amazing movies by him. So he was in there. This is Chef An Sung-jae. Everyone knows him from Culinary Class Wars, right? Like he's the only, I think, 2-star, 3-star. Was it 2-star or 3-star? I don't know. My mind is glitching, but he's the only 2 or 3-star Michelin chef in Korea. His restaurant Mosu, which is now closed at the moment. But anyways, he rose to stardom during the Culinary Class Wars whole Netflix series. So he was there. He was, preparing the food. And look at that. I'll explain all these cultural things in the video you might have missed while you're watching. And then on the fourth slide over here, that's Peggy Goo. That is one of Korea's most famous DJs out there. She's really hot in Europe and internationally. So yeah. And let's go on and see the video itself. So let me just do a mini reaction and stop the video in between and explain to you guys like what kind of cultural motifs there are in this video. So I'm probably sure you've seen this on IceMag and everywhere on the internet, but let's just see it together, alright? So G-Dragon just walking like that. on the red carpet, the model walk. Yeah, I'm worried that this might get copyrighted, but okay, whatever. An Sung-jae over there. So, like, if you rewind a little back to An Sung-jae. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Maybe you can't stop it. Okay, you can. So, if you look at what he's holding over there, that is like a historical building, I would say, called 첨성대. And what it is, it goes back to the Shilla dynasty, which is way before Joseon. And during that era, Shilla actually, made what do you call it? A celestial observation deck. That's what it is. So you go inside and you see that little black window over there, right? You peek outside and you actually observe the sky and the constellations and whatnot, right? So that is one of the historical monuments of Gyeongju. So that's why it's on a plate. I think he made something out of food ingredients into the form of 첨성대. So that's that. And G Dragon here is as a pilot. That is so cool. Like he looks so sleek. I love the whole aesthetic of all this. And yeah, he's ready to, like, he's looking at the blueprint of the whole Gyeongju map over there, along with all the Gyeongju monuments. We have like the Buddha statues over there, because if you go to Gyeongju, Shilla was a very Buddhist dynasty, and they have like very profound Buddhist, historical sites like Bulguksa, which is, I think, Korea's top Buddhist temple. In Korea, so you definitely have to visit. And then if you go to Bulguksa, there's a place called Seokguram, which is like a stone cave, and there's like a giant Buddha statue inside. So that's very worth visiting. And then if you look over here and the back side, that is the smiling brick. It's called the kiwa in Korean, but if you look at those chimneys of like Korean style hanoks, and at the end of them, you'll see like these decorated ornaments or like these sculptures, whatnot, attached to those chimney bricks, right? And that is part of it, and it's broken. And it's preserved like that. So, like, we always see that in our history textbooks and stuff. If you go to the National Museum, you'll probably see a copy or a preserved piece of that. So that's a very famous piece in our history as well. Like, if you look at the expression of it's smiling, but it's smiling in like a benevolent way, a subtle, not like too crazy. So that subtle smile is like Korea's beauty, is what our history books explain. Okay. So like, yeah. If we go on, these are probably all like the pilots and leaders. And this is the funny part. So like, look at this. So GD was about to start the meeting. He's like, "Welcome to APEC," and then Chang Won-young just cuts in. She's like the recipient, I guess, like the reception desk. Oh, what a wonderful reception! But she's like, "Oh, 2025, please, take out your car." So she's like valet parking or whatever, and this is like a restaurant concept. And G Dragon, apparently his car plate number is 2025. So he was about to start the meeting, but she's like interrupting and saying like, pull your car out, please. This is a funny, humorous relief, I would say. And it's also good because like GD doesn't have to speak so many lines. But yeah, this was pretty funny. He's like dumbfounded. 이공이요. That's his car. Okay, he has a private jet. All right, okay. He's looking back with a ticket in his mouth, and people made fun of this online. Like, why is he looking back on an airplane as if it's a car? Like, he'll just be looking at like the blockage towards the passenger seat. So, I mean, honestly, this is just like a figure of video, right? Like, it's just to make it look more dramatic, right? And then him having a ticket in his mouth. I don't know what that means, but like that pose, like he's doing with the one handle on it and like one shoulder on the chair. That's a typical like Korean oppa oppa posture, where oppas like to boast to their girlfriends or passengers and say like, "Oh, I don't have to use the side mirrors or rear mirrors or anything. I just look directly and like, when they're like reverse parking." So it's like, yeah, and it gets you closer to the girl, right? Usually. But anyways, like, yeah, that's funny. And then what people were shocked about the most was this part, actually. So if you don't know who this guy is, he's our current Korean president, Lee Jae-myung. And if you look on his chest over here, it says 주차 관리. That means parking. So he's the parking guy. The president is the parking guy. All right. And a lot of people thought that was AI. Like I initially thought that was AI too. Do you think this is like filmed for real? Like I thought it was AI. It kind of looked tacky, to be honest. But yeah, like he did the salute and he parked and right next to us. So a lot of people were wondering why there's Peru right next to us. That's so random, right? Like, and then there's USA, of course. USA is always the best. We have to put them next to us. But then, like, Peru is blocking them. So people are like, what? Why is Peru over there? Yeah, I'll tell you why in a bit. But yeah, we got Thailand, Korea, everyone. This is a pretty epic promo vid, I'm not gonna lie. Right? World comes to Korea. World comes to Gyeongju, APEC 2025. All right. So yeah, that was the APEC promo video. And yes, if you go on to the next screen, actually, President Lee was on site. He was actually in front of the green screen. That was not CG. It was actual footage of him. And if you see next to him over here, this guy over here is from the Dolphin Kidnap crew. What a weird name, but he's really good friends with Mini Jin, everyone's favorite, and he produced a lot of New Jeans music videos, along with a lot of other idol music videos as well. He's a pretty well-known name in the scene, so he got nominated as the APEC promo video director, and he did a pretty good job, I would say. I mean, there are conflicting opinions about it, but we'll get to that a little later. But yeah, you can see the president was on site. He was actually, directing and acting and all. He looks kind of cute in those like gears, right? So, made props to Shin Eun-seok Dolphiners films. Okay, yeah. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that was the video. And if you go, let's go back and talk about it a little bit. So, I think it was really well filmed because, like, of the whole Hanok style restaurant, with all the VIPs G-dragging, walking in like a model, like majestically like a pilot, and like President Lee making that special appearance as like the ground marshal. So that was all good. But the astounding fact about this, the behind the scenes story actually unfolded, and the news actually revealed that all the stars that appeared, including the president, they participated pro bono. That means no payment taken. Look at all the stars over here. These are busy people. They have their own businesses. They have their own performances to do. They have their own countries to run, right? And they all participated pro bono. That is astounding. That is applaud worthy, I would say. And good job to Shin Eun-seok, the Dolphin film guy, as well too. And I think it really reflected the motto, or like the mission statement of, like, showing Korea's soft power and using and leveraging that to gain the most amount of like promotion we can get for the APEC 2025. Of course, APEC 2025, it's not like a cultural event or anything, but like there are a lot of world leaders visiting and gathering all together. So it is a pretty big deal, and in order to, promote that to the fullest, I think, the best way is to leverage our country's representative figures. Obviously, like we could have got better people. There have been opinions here and there, like we could have got who and them and blah blah blah. But like I think this lineup is amazing as it is. So let's not go to that territory. But yeah, I think the APEC 2025, why it's significant is because, it's like the first global big thing happening post pandemic in Korea. Like the pandemic has passed, we're all over it now, but afterwards, we haven't had like a huge summit or a economic forum or whatever going on in Korea, and this is the first thing, so we're very like careful about it. We're very like dear about it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's trying to, this promo video is trying to create that image of a cool image of cool Korea. Like the Korean culture is on the rise, right? So we're trying to be like a modern host. So yeah, and actually if you look at the this news interview, the president's secretary actually stated that the no, actually the foreign minister actually said that the president's role as a ground marshal, as a parking person, is to it's like a metaphor to guide the world back to Korea from turmoil, also like returning Korea from its political turmoil. So it has like two reasons. So he's ushering, like he's safely guiding the world and the leaders to Korea. Also, he's returning Korea back to its original state from the political turmoil. Wow, I did not think of that, but okay, it has a deep meaning. All right. Yeah. So, anyways, that's APEC. It's going to happen soon. I'm very excited for it. There have been, there have been conflicting opinions about this video in particular. Like, let me know what you think about it in the comments. But let's read some of them over here. So, Kwon Ji-young is a truly famous patriot who raises the taegukgi every year on Liberation Day despite being cursed by Japanese fans. Yeah, like a lot of these comments are praising GD, obviously. And Chef An Sung-jae's plate features the Cheomseongdae. This detail symbolizes Gyeongju's hosting of this year's APEC, and I appreciate it. I like to thank the president, the entire cast, and the production crew for this wonderful video. Indeed. What's even crazier is that all the actors are willing to do it without a guarantee. A fee, right? GD returned to Korea briefly during his US concert and then went back to Las Vegas to film this. Really? He must have been really busy. Everyone worked without guarantees and the video came out great. I agree. The order of the airplane parking is based on the order of APEC host countries. So Peru is between the US and South Korea, and Peru will host in 2024. That is the reason. And apparently the US will be next. So it's not sucking up to the US, right? So it's like in the order of hosting. All right. And if you go over here, I'm a little excited about this personally because if you look at this building over here, you probably notice where it is by the bridge and the ocean. It's Busan, right? My hometown, my favorite city in Korea. And if you go to Haeundae Beach, next to the Joseon Hotel, you'll see a little path that winds up to a little, protruded mini island called Dongbaeksum, Camellia Island. And if you go there and take the hiking trail all the way to the back, you will see this building over here. And what that is it's a building called Nurimaru Square. And that means like looking at the globe or something like that. It's a square or building that spreads towards the world in pure Korean. Nurimaru, that's what it means. But basically, this was the location, the venue for the APEC 2005. So 20 years before Korea hosted the APEC in 2005 in Busan, and it was quite a thing. I remember even as a child, I was barely. I think I just arrived in Busan for a couple years, and then I heard everyone's coming to Busan. I don't remember who the U.S. president was back then, but I remember, maybe was it Clinton or Bush? I don't know, but like they were all in hanboks. It was quite a scene, and Korea was going crazy over it because like back then in 2005, Korea didn't really have that much accolades. So yeah, it was a pretty big deal, and I remember it vividly. So it's wild that after 20 years, after 20 years, we're hosting the APEC again, and apparently there's a lot of economic benefit coming out from it as well too. So the government is very keen on making this a success. Yeah, right. And of course, these two people are going to participate in this APEC as well too, amidst this whole global tariff war and like these little, conflicts here and there, and these superpowers just, going against each other with the AI race and everything, the global power struggle, tug of war happening at the moment. The fact that these two leaders are coming to the Korean Peninsula is quite a big scene, I would say. I don't think they have reunited in the near times quite recently. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal, right? So this is going to happen, and yeah, like going back to the promo video though. Of course, like you've seen most of the YouTube comments over there, people are very, supportive towards it, and they're like, "Oh, this is how you make like a promo video." Like a lot of people were triggered because if you see the past Busan Expo video, that was total shit. And coming from Busan person, I was ashamed to see the Busan Expo video. Everyone was like, we need to investigate who actually produced this. There was definitely money laundering or whatever going on. So, like, we need to actually, yeah, make a full-on investigation about that. It was that bad. But, like, this one is, like, actually well done in a lot of people's point of views. It didn't take a lot of money as well, too, because it was all pro bono. So, that's how you market a summit. So, yeah, people do admit, okay, let's go on to the little bit of a negative side. People do admit that it's a little cheesy. GD's walking like a model on red carpet and whatnot. And it's supposed to be dramatic, And it's supposed to be like theatrical. So I understand. It's, you could allow that kind of dramatic production and acting and directing. But some people are saying like it's a little bit over the top, it's a little bit cheesy. Some people are saying that. Some people are using the word cringe a little bit. But on the flip side, people are like, it's better to be cringe with creativity than bore the world with formality. Like as you would expect with an expo video or economic forum video, like those fancy government style videos, right? Like that's not fun. Like nobody cares about those things. It's better to be theatrical, cringe, a little bit cheesy with all these K-pop stars, global figures like An Sung-jae, Park Ji-sung, Park Chan-wook, all of them inside, and it gives you like cultural, doors to open to like the broader audience that might not know Korea. Like I'm pretty sure people would not recognize who Park Chan-wook is from that film. Like why is like a guy in glasses just sitting there randomly with Park Ji-sung? And people that don't know football might not know who Park Ji-sung is. So it goes both ways. It leverages the stars' fandom and their power, but also like to the broader audience that doesn't know who they are, they're like, it's a deeper look into Korea. So you search up like who appeared in APEC 2025 video, and you search up Park Chan-wook, and he's like, oh, he's a famous director. Let's check out his movies. Watch his Old Boy, gets mesmerized. Oh my God, what am I missing out on? And goes and proceeds in watching 어쩔 수가 없다. And go check out my Patreon if you want to see my review on 어쩔 수가 없다. It was an amazing film. But yeah, like I think it was a well done video. And Masspace says it was fine. Cringe is better than boring, says Big X. Broccoli is honest here. David, I agree. GD is cringe. Hello Hilda, and GD is cheesy. Best description of it. Okay. Yeah. I think it's tongue-in-cheek. Okay. Yeah. And, right. What kind of people would hate it? Just people who probably hate the president. Like, if the president appears in something, it's usually hated from, like, a wide spectrum of people. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, even if you made... Like, in America right now, even if you made the best... I don't know, World Cup promo. Like, let's say, like, you're having a big expo in the U.S. right now, and there's like LeBron, there's like who's like U.S. representative. Like, there's like Beyonce, there's like Taylor Swift, there's like Tarantino. Is he American? Or yeah, like all these amazing figures, and then at the end, there's President Trump doing this to the Air Force One. You know what I'm saying, right? There would be a batch of people hating on the video. Yeah, so, you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and before we go on, please don't forget to like this video. 176 of you have gathered already, so please like this video before we go on. And, yeah, that's basically it for the APEC thing. And, yeah. There's a comment I saw. If diplomacy had an MVP for marketing, Korea just won it with a baton wave and G-Dragon's wink. Alright, that comment is kind of cheesy too. Lol, that sounded so wrong. Really? Okay. Yeah. Alright, hello Mia, David from California, finally catching your live. Yeah, like, see, people from the US are finally able to hop on. I'm sorry it was too Europe-centered for the past few lives. But anyways, okay. Dump truck would never do anything like being a parking attendant, let's be real. I mean, he was a McDonald's employee for some yeah, a campaign I saw before. So, yeah, anyways. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I think it was a well done promo, all in all. A little bit cheesy, but it's okay, you know? Like, cringe is better than boring, as one of our commenters said. Okay, let's go on to the next topic. And if you're liking this video, please subscribe and put your notification bells on. If you want to send over super chats, you are more than welcome to. PayPal's at paypal.me/KoreanPizzaclub. Will be really appreciated. All right, let's go on to the next topic. So, what is happening over here? Blackpink's Rose is cropped out from magazine photo, a magazine called LUK, and it's stirring a lot of controversy related to racism. So you hear the news, you be the judge, all right? So what's happening, okay? So LUK posted a Saint Laurent group photo from Paris Fashion Week on September 25th, and there was Rose, Charlie XCX, Hailey Bieber, Zoe Kravitz. I personally only know Hailey Bieber from there, and she's obviously Justin Bieber's wife, right? But Rose was literally cropped out of LUK's Instagram version. So this is the original photo, like taken by other photographers at the scene. So it's the big four over there. Despite me not knowing who most of them are, I only know Rose and Hailey Bieber. But yeah, like this was the photo, but what was posted was this on LUK's Instagram. Wow. Wow. All right. So like, okay, let's you know, let's sit back over here. Just delay our judgments for a while. Like, is this racist or not? Let's get into that conversation a little later. But anyways, you can obviously see that the only non-Western / Asian figure was removed. Fans were outraged. Comments exploded. People were saying, where is Rose? This feels racist. And afterwards, LUK deleted the post and apologized, saying crop was for size, not intentional. Alright, so they say, we sincerely apologize for a recent post, blah blah blah, where Blackpink Rose was cropped from a group photo for size. We did not mean to offend anyone. The post has been removed, and LUK remains committed to ensuring our future coverage represents the full spectrum of our audience we so greatly respect. All right. At least they put out an apology, right? They're doing damage control, right? So, you know, and what added fuel to the fire, though? Like, you know, after that incident, not only LUK, but Charlie XCX. I don't know who she is. Is she a singer or something? But she posted a photo on her personal account. And why does she have to put this kind of photo? I'm pretty sure she got tons of photos on Getty Images or her own social media manager or whoever. But if you see the photo, Rose's here, but she's like, I think this is because of like a shadow or maybe like a photo flash or something like that. But even here, Rose's kind of semi cropped out, if you want to say it like that. And then Hailey Bieber reposted that on her story. Like, I don't really want to give Hailey Bieber that much shit because like all she did was like repost it from like the tag post on Charlie XCX's post. But like, these are two shots on Rose, like in one day, right? So yeah, and later words, like people were wondering, like, oh, I'm pretty sure Rose was there, right? Like we all saw the behind the scenes footage, like the videos, like she was sitting there, she was even talking to the crew and fam and all that. And why did Elle upload this in the first place? And why is Charlie XCX uploading that? And then we got our queen Madonna posting on her own Instagram. Madonna posted this picture, and Rose was right in the center. Well recognized. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but Madonna posted this, apparently on her social media. So, thank you, Madonna, for giving justice to Rose, right? So, like, okay, critics are like, size issue? Ever heard of carousel posts, like, the ones you can flick through? So did you like is that really an excuse? Like, okay, I could understand, like, okay, if you had to post this image size, but it's still a little iffy, like, I think it's an excuse, quite honestly. And then Elle afterwards made like a dedicated post themselves too. On this is the dedicated post. They put like a solo picture of Rose on their own Instagram account along with the apology on the description. But yeah, I don't know. Is this excuse validated? What do you think, guys? What do you think? So the narrative or the claims from the fan is like, this is not something we're surprised about. Like, we've seen so much racism and bias in Western media before. Like, K-pop stars, they get the front row seats because of their followings and their influence. But still, if you look at like traditional media or like these Western media, sometimes they're totally cropped out or they're given like dumbed down interviews, stuff like that. So these kind of treatment is normal, and we're sick of it, is what the K-pop fans are saying. And also, Rose's global ambassadorship was totally ignored. She is actually the global ambassador of Saint Laurent. So she was at the Paris fashion show, Fashion Week, right? And Saint Laurent is obviously a Parisian brand, right? Or a French brand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she is a symbol for one of the most prestigious luxury brands out there. And the fact that you're cropping her out from a fashion week, a Paris fashion week photo, I don't know, like something smells fishy over here, right? It shows the cultural disconnect these Western editors or magazines have, like, towards a more centered view, European centered or maybe a Western centered view in this case, because there was like Hailey Bieber and whatnot, right? So yeah, so like what's interesting though is that this time though, because there was immediate backlash and huge backlash from the fans, it was totally hard to ignore. It actually got LUK to apologize. It actually made a difference. In most cases, they put up like half-assed apologies on their website that nobody can see, and then we see it through like all K-pop articles, and like it just brushes off. But they made a dedicated post. They put it in the description right away. So I don't know if we can give them a pass or not. Broccoli, thank you for the $10 pizza. I found Idol way harder than Karina. Kim Sween from Meow. What do you think? I'll check her out later, okay? Kim Sui. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the pizza. And yeah, obviously there was a whole thread of tweets with hashtags saying like LUK apologize. Um, imagine cropping a global Saint Laurent ambassador out of a Saint Laurent photo, stuff like that. Probably a lazy layout choice. Most saw it as like a micro aggressive erasure. Like some people saw it as like, oh, it's the typical white folks again trying to like use their superiority in like a micro aggressive kind of way and like crop her out, stuff like that. And memes were circulating like LUKB, like who's missing? I see no one. Where there's Rose right next to them, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, about the crop out, like the format size issue, what do you think about that? I honestly think it's nonsense. Because if they wanted to, they could post a picture with the proper size with Rose included. Quite honestly, I'm pretty sure they had tons of photos over there. And like, if you go through the brain process of the person, the editor or the social media manager that's uploading that, I don't think it's smart to crop one person out from a 4-man group photo. Like, just common sense wise. The only explanation, I do see why people are claiming this as racism, because it's so hard to go that route, Like, you're looking at a photo, there's 4 people, obviously they're all famous, and they're all invited to this fancy fashion week, thingy. And you decide to crop one person out? Yeah, it's really fishy. It's really fishy, So maybe it's not malicious, but it actually reflects that unconscious bias that defaults to the Western culture, in my opinion. Because probably the only way I can see it is you're the social media manager, you're uploading. By common sense, like, oh, cropping out this person might not be a good idea, but I don't really know who she is. Or maybe I do, but like she's just a K-pop idol, so like she's meh. And then like, oh, it's Hailey Bieber and Charlie XCX and like Zoe Kravitz. Like, oh, I know these people. Oh, they're so hot. Oh, in my own standards, let me just put that. This is gonna blow up the internet. Let's leave out the Asian girl. This might have been the thought process. Okay, this might be my Delulu mind, but a lot of people are thinking that this is what happened behind the scenes. Let's not jump to conclusions, but it is pretty likely. It is pretty likely, right? Yeah. Yeah, cropping her out is a choice, says KB. Exactly. Very fishy indeed. Yeah, so anyways, if you go to the comments over here, let's see what they're saying. So Rose, even afterwards, she posted on her own social media platforms, and she slayed in her like nightgown and whatnot, like the fashion over there. And people on the comments for the apology post saying deleting and reposting Rose's solo shot won't erase the disrespect. This isn't bad editing; it's unethical and reeks of racism. Too late, LUK. And then another person was like, too late, with a barfing emoji. Look at the amount of likes it got. 13,000, 12,000 likes. That's crazy, right? Okay, so yeah, like, most of the people out there see it as racism, and I would not like to jump to a conclusion, because, like, what if it's like this just very, just genuine and naive 21-year-old social media manager doing her internship at LUK, and she didn't mean to hurt Rose or anything and did a mistake. So there might be that kind of scenario. So just in case, let's leave some room. But still, chances are that there is a little bit of racism in there. I will not deny. Yeah. Right? It would have been worse if Rose was black. Oh, right. Like, yeah. I know what you're saying. And because she's Asian, there's less backlash, I guess. That's what you're saying, right? Yeah. So I mean, let me go back on your comments and see what you are saying. Uh. No, Elle could have picked a better pick of Rose with the apology. This makes her look sad she got left out. Oh, really? This photo you're talking about? She looks sad. Yeah, she kind of. But I did see, to be fair though, I did see a footage of her there, and I think she was under some kind of uncomfortable situation because, like, there was a video footage, and she did not look very enthusiastic. Maybe it was because of no, like this has nothing to do with it, but like maybe she was tired or something. Yeah. Anyways, they're just trying to profit off of them. Rose, wake up. Right. No excuse. Whoever is in the social media team of LUK needs to be reprimanded for such a lame excuse for size reasons. That's a load of bullshit. Cow shit. They definitely didn't do it for the size. You know, they could have included everyone or posted 2 different photos. They just didn't think she was important enough. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. I mean, are we reading people's expressions now? Yes, that's. I mean, yeah, she's not smiling. That's what she's saying, right? I guess. The 3 other gals have no affiliation to YSL, and Rosie is the ambassador. Ellis sucks. Yeah, I think it's Rosie's outfit. I think Rosie's outfit is not what? Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I was about to say something, but oh right. Yeah, the funny thing is, I actually looked up Charlie XCX and Zoe Kravitz, was it? I still don't know. Like no shade or anything. I genuinely don't know who these people are. Yeah, I'm looking them up right now. Uh and the funny thing is like not to be petty, but just pointing it out just in defense of Rose, right? Just to point it out, if you go to Hailey Bieber, Charlie XCX, and Zoe Kravitz's Instagram accounts and combine their followers, they're not even Rose's follower accounts are even more than all 3 of them combined. That's what I found. So I would have thought that Hailey Bieber has a massive following, and she does. But if you go to Rose's account over here, she has, how much is this? 84.5 million followers. 84.5 million followers. And if you go to Hailey Bieber's, you want to see this on screen? Okay, I'll show you. All right. Yeah, if you go to Rose's over here, she's got 84 point almost 5 million on her account. If you go to Hailey Bieber's, let's see, she got, all right, she got like 55 million. So yeah, and then the rest they don't have like more than 10 million. So yeah, all of them combined, you know, they can't even compete with Rose's follower account. So it's pretty ironic if we go by social media standards, right, to crop her out. Or maybe they might have saved Rose for a solo photo because she's bigger than them all 3 of them combined. Rose is more famous by a lot. All right. British media has no idea of the global K-pop fandom. It drives me mad. I mean, we don't have to be mad. Like, haters gonna hate. People gonna be ignorant. Like, you know, stars like Rose, they're gonna be successful no matter what, right? Zoe parents are really famous. Who are Zoe's parents? Yeah. I don't know. That's because they are not that active online, but Zoe is definitely booked and banking. No, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm just saying, by social media standards, because we're talking about a social media post, an accident by a social media manager, you know, it's quite ironic that the person with the most followers, more than 3 of them combined, got cropped out. That's just what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure all 3 of them like make loads of money, and if we're playing the money game, maybe they earn more than Rose because like they're in the American market and like they get like tons of grand deals and all whatnot. So yeah. Hailey Bieber has 55 million by being affiliated with Justin Bieber. Yeah. not to be shady or anything, quite honestly, I don't know anything about Hailey Bieber herself too. Like, was she an actress or model or celebrity before she married Justin Bieber? Or, yeah, I don't know anything. Yeah. So, see, like there are realms around the world on the other hemisphere or side of the world. There are people like me who don't know anything about Hailey Bieber or Charlie XCX or Zoe Kravitz. And I'm not being salty at all. Like, this is just the truth. I have no idea. Oh, I know that about Hailey Bieber. She has like this lipstick case that a lot of girls go crazy about. I don't know, guys. No shade. I hope I'm not triggering any Hailey Bieber fans. Because literally, I'm just like an Asian dude over here eating his apple. And I just don't care about Hailey Bieber or like the Western celeb scene. I don't even know. Like, people don't believe me. Like, people really don't believe me when I say this. But I don't know any of the Kardashians or how they look like or who they are. If she was standing next to me right over here, I wouldn't know. She's like Kim Kardashian or who are the other sisters? Yeah, I forgot their names. Anna was surprised. She's like, "How do you not know Kim Kardashian?" I don't know. I'm not American. Oh, is that Kylie Jenner? Okay. Sorry. Okay, maybe I got confused. Okay, the lip kits is Kylie. Sorry about that. So see, like I'm getting confused even with these celebrities. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, but I know Taylor Swift though. I know Taylor Swift. So let's agree on that. Yeah. All right. That's good not to know. Okay. Um Those girls are not famous anymore? Really? Okay. Who's like the most famous in the Western world nowadays? Let me know. Like among the females, who's the most famous and like the hot icon? Like who's the Jenny of the Western world nowadays? Please let me know. I like your energy when you broadcast it this time, David. Okay, it's because I can yell because it's 1 p.m. It's not 1 a.m. and my neighbors aren't gonna come banging my door. Teresa, I'm American. I don't know them either. Kendrick? No, I'm talking about like a female figure here. Taylor Swift? Is it Taylor Swift? Okay. Okay, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Taylor. Okay. I think I might recognize Beyonce, but I'm not really sure about her face though. Like I know her iconic music videos, but I never like memorized her face. Beyonce and Taylor. Okay, everyone has a consensus that it's Beyonce and Taylor. Yeah. Like, they're super huge all over the world. Everyone knows Beyonce's songs and her performances, Taylor's songs, and everything. Yeah, for sure. I saw this random footage yesterday of Taylor Swift sitting next to, uh, oh wow, I forgot his name. The guy from Peaky Blinders and Oppenheimer, the actor. Uh, his name's slipping in my mind. Oh wow. How can I forget his name? Can I forgot his name? Please help me in the chat. But that was the most random shit ever. Killian Murphy, yes. Thank you. Killian Murphy. I saw a clip yesterday of Taylor Swift and Killian Murphy sitting side by side, and Taylor Swift was talking about her engagement ring or something. It was a big rock. And Killian Murphy was like congratulating her. But then people in the comments were like, he's such a great actor, but he cannot act to be interested enough. That was so funny. He's like, the comments was like, he don't give an F about Taylor's Rock. And people were like, what are they doing together there anyways? Yeah, that was pretty random. Yeah. Cillian Murphy is an amazing actor. Mad respect. I've seen him in so many movies. A lot of Christopher Nolan movies. And he is a very, very great actor. And I saw some of like stories about like his life and all. And he's like a very humble person. And also he doesn't really like to be in like the spotlight that much. He's not like one of those like clout chasing celebs or anything like that. And just his vibes, it's just so cool, right? Great actor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like in Korea, I would say it's definitely Jenny, Karina. Yeah, those are the two female figures that are like the it girls of Korea. Jenny with her vibes and her aura, and Karina with her sheer beauty. It's just like with her visuals, like she slays everyone. And then we could go on to like Chang Won-young. I think Chang Won-young and Karina would be like on the same tier for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go on to the next news. Don't forget to like. And okay, let me go back to Broccoli's super chat. Someone hotter than Karina, Kim Soo-in from Meow. Let's see. Kim Soo-in, Meow. Okay. Since I got a super chat, there aren't a lot of pictures that show her like properly. Yeah, she's cute, but you know, like Karina will be my all-time fave. Karina's gonna be my all-time fave. Where are my cards? Yeah, let me flash my cards. Oh, where'd they go? Oh no, my cards are gone? Oh yeah, my cards. Spice it up. Up. Hold up. Oh, 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 oh. Hey. Our girl. Okay, next time Karina should go to a fashion week. Okay, so all the female idols look beautiful to me. Of course, for sure, for sure. She's my type, yo. You have a competitor here. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go on to the next topic, guys. So this is going to be a little political. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, buckle up. So in Korea, there has been a massive policy change for Chinese tourists. We're opening up our borders. There is a new visa-free policy for Chinese tourists visiting Korea starting from September 29th. So it's been a week already. And Chinese tour groups of 3+ people can stay visa-free for less than 15 days in Korea. That's like less than 2 weeks, give or take. And the goal is definitely to revive tourism and the economy because Chinese tourists are big spenders. They got big money and they're close to us. They're big in masses, so it makes sense. And China was actually Korea's #1 tourist source. 8 million visits per average since 2016. So that is a lot. And then we had like the thought incident and like our political leaders didn't like each other. So, you know, like it kind of stopped. There was the Hallyu ban, there was COVID, and all of that, you know, affected the whole Chinese tourist boom and it was cut in half. So up till now, only like 3 to 4 million Chinese tourists would visit. So if you go to Myeongdong, there wouldn't be as much Chinese tourists. There would be more like Japanese or Westerners recently, and you could just feel it. Back then, if you go to Myeongdong, it was like full of just Chinese people. Everyone was speaking Chinese. The signs were in Chinese. And you got to cater to the mass majority, right? So that's the reason. And the reason they launched this just recently is because it was China's Golden Week holiday quite recently, and that's why they launched this visa-free policy for the Chinese tour groups, but it incited public anger, of course, because Korea doesn't like China. But it's not that shallow, okay? Like, there are actual reasons for it. There have been a lot of protesting going around in Myeongdong because that's like the central hub for all the Chinese tourists to come, shop, dine, stay, and eat. All of that happens in Myeongdong. I don't know why it became like that, but there's a massive shopping district there. It's pretty flashy. I never go there because it's too crowded and too many tourists, and street food isn't that good anyways. But yeah, there have been protests in Myeongdong, and it's an anti-Chinese protest, and people are protesting with pickets and flyers saying "Go home, China, go home," stuff like that. And 52,000 plus Koreans signed a petition to cancel this visa program. And yeah, if you see some of these pictures, like these are the Chinese tourist groups entering Korea, and of course, officially, we are greeting them with our cute little mascots over here in the Korean king's outfit. But yeah, if you go to Myeongdong, the climate is a little bit different because like you can see people with these kind of posters over here saying "No China." What does it say? Reject Chinese Communist Party. Don't invade Korea. So there are these massive protests and rallies with these mega screens. And this is right next to the Chinese embassy right over here. And also, if you go one block further, there is like a massive tourist street where all the Chinese tourists just flock to shop. And you know, these people are not just staying there. They are actually marching through Myeongdong, and they have like these signs up saying China out with the American flag always. They're asking America to protect us from the Chinese Communist Party and spies infiltrating our soil visa free. And yeah, this is all happening. So what's happening? Like it's getting out of control because, you know, if you think about it, imagine you're a Chinese tourist and you came to Myeongdong, and the first thing you see is like a poster in front of your face saying like "Go home, China," like "No China." How would you feel? You came to Korea to have a good time, to explore the land, do some shopping, spend some money. How would you feel as a Chinese tourist? I think, you know, these people can have their own perspectives. I feel like, you know, freedom of speech should be given. These protests cannot be banned by current law because, like, you know, it's freedom of speech and freedom of protest. So the government and the Seoul city government has no choice but to allow them to do this. But it's kind of embarrassing, you know, like these people are just here. The majority of them are just here to have a good time, but you're just shoving that in your face. So if you want to do this, I guess like their logic would be, you know, they want to scare these people out. They want to agitate them. They want to be aggressive towards them. And this is the best place to do it, right? Myeongdong, the center of everything. But I would say, like, if you want to do it, you should do it in, like, somewhere else. Then the media could still pick up on it, but not right in front of, like, these tourist faces. That's purely just, like, hatred and xenophobic, xenophobic, and everything. So it's, I think it's too much, you know? It's a little bit too much, in my opinion. And definitely our president spoke up about this issue as well, too. I mean, some might say that he's biased because, you know, if you see in this photo, they say China Lee. His name is Lee Jae-myung, so they're referring to him as China Lee because he's very pro-China. His politics have always been very, like, left-leaning, and he's, like, always, like, in the middle between the U.S. and China, and he's the one that granted this policy for the no visa entry for Chinese tourists. So President Lee actually spoke up as well too, and he condemned these hate rallies. He phrased them as hate rallies, and ordered the police to limit them. I don't know how far the police have authority over these protests. apparently you probably have to allow them, but I think the police might have the control over, like, like conflicts, or them like getting out of lines and like wandering out solo to like these alleys and like shouting at Chinese people and stuff. Like, I think the police might be able to prevent that at the least. And yeah, when the president actually came up and talked about this, saying that these are hate rallies, the Chinese government and the Chinese embassy actually agreed and said, like, yeah, you're spot on. And Beijing actually warned Seoul to ensure Chinese tourist safety. So there is like global politics stepping in over here. Of course, like, we listen to the US really well too, but there's another superpower that we need to be wary about. And if China's triggered and mad about this, we need to be careful, right? We don't know what kind of retaliation will come in our way. It could be economic sanctions, it could be whatever. Like, I don't know. They could build more factories and send over more yellow dust. But whatever it is, we need to be careful. That's what I'm saying, right? So if you look at some comments, what people are saying, obviously, on their internet, it's going to be mostly like, against China. People are saying, number one, visa-free entry would be fine if there were only tourists, but the problem is that there are illegal immigrants coming over and working. So they come in disguise as tourist visas, no visas at all, and they just stay here, and the police force can't catch them because they hide themselves in like Taedimdong or somewhere, and they just, like, the Chinese people employ the Chinese people that came, and they just live here as illegals, and they get jobs, and if they get deported, they get deported, and the government can't really do anything about it because, like, China's a superpower, right? So that's how it works. So people are complaining about that. And number two, many Chinese tourists have been unruly, and these problems have been frequently reported on the news. Yeah, that is a fact too. I mean, there's always bad apples, rotten apples among a big batch of groups. Of course, that isn't reason to generalize all Chinese people and Chinese tourists, but, like, because the sample group is just too big, it's just massive, there will be ugly people like that. Like, there's always cases of people pooping on the street, people like hoarding labubus, people cutting in lines, like shouting and fighting in the subway and whatever, littering, and it happened to be Chinese people a lot of times, and that circulated on social media. So that those like one-off events stacked up time after time, and people are like, oh, I'm seeing a pattern over here. It's not, they're not all Chinese, but it's always Chinese, that kind of saying. And number three, even with visa-free entry, there are no safety measures such as fingerprinting that citizens want. I don't know about that. So, like, I can't really stand by that because, like, I know, like, if you have to enter and you go through, like, the immigration booth, like, they take facial pictures of you and they have, like, the finger scan or not. But I have to fact check on that. But if it's absolutely no, like, ID check or anything, if it's just like a passport check, no photos or anything, I would, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, yeah. If that is the case, then that is a big problem. I would agree. Number four, there are so many crimes involving Chinese nationals in the news that I'm worried about. Yeah, there have been a lot of, like, stabbing incidents and, like, organized crimes, like kidnapping, and a lot of the culprits have been Chinese nationals. So yeah, that kind of news actually scares Koreans a lot. The problem is the indiscriminate opening to the Chinese. The laws on owning property, land, special businesses need to be more strict. This is actually a valid point, I would say. It doesn't have to do anything with the no visa policy, but it's just like a wide extension and spectrum of the problem. The fact that the government is getting more China friendly and opening up more towards the Chinese nationals. The fact that a lot of Chinese people come in with money, like half of Jeju Island, the private property is already Chinese owned. A lot of land and apartments in Seoul are Chinese owned. These are all facts. These are all backed by the statistics. And also, a lot of the K-pop entertainment companies are already Chinese owned as well too. If you look into Kakao, if you look into SM, if you look into like all the other groups, like probably YG as well too. I don't know about YG, but like all these major groups, they either have some they have a substantial shareholder from China, which is probably the Tencent group. I don't know the exact shareholdings, but like they are Tencent is a big shareholder for all of these K-pop companies. Yeah. And a lot of gaming companies here too, like NCSoft or like whatnot. We need to stop visa waiver programs for Chinese people. I'm worried. Seriously, don't come. So people are frightened. Yeah. Chinese own a lot of properties everywhere, man. So like, yeah, that's what a lot of Korean people are worried about right now. So, okay, this is all hate speech, okay? Like, don't get me wrong. This is what I see on the internet. So, people are saying that in 100 years, like, we're in, like, modern imperialism is not driven towards war or, like, military power. It's a number game. And a lot of Koreans are seeing, like, global happenings and stuff like that. And they're saying we got to be careful as a minority in terms of population about especially immigration policies in regards to our close neighbor is China, right? China. For Europe, it would be like refugees or like other immigrants from other areas like the Middle East or Africa and whatever. And because the people, the original nationals, like, this is a very weird term, so like I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but because like certain groups of people, certain nationalities or certain cultures or religion come to a certain country, and by their own culture they have a lot of babies and they make families, while these first world countries, they refuse to have babies, and their own nationals refuse to have babies. That's happening globally, right? In Korea, Korean people are refusing to have babies, but a lot of, let's say, scenario-wise, Chinese people come in and they just like bombard us with numbers, right? Like we're going to be outnumbered. In that case, you know, are we safe from invasion or like intrusion from the inside? So that's like a very fear-mongering scenario a lot of Korean people have, seeing what's happening in Europe according to their reports and a lot of comments from there. But yeah, so like this applies to us in Asia for the Chinese situation over here. People are afraid that China's going to buy up all our land. They're going to outnumber us with the amount of people crossing over and the labor, the cheap labor they're providing over here. And they're flagging, you know, like this should be a red alert. We should be aware about this problem. And if we open like no visa policies, more and more people are going to just flood in and stay as illegal. So people are being very wary about that situation. Okay. Anyways, seems like a reasonable concern to me. Yeah, like, you know, there are both sides of every story. A lot of people say, like, this is a very tricky thing to say, because, like, especially from Europeans' perspectives, like, the European countries, most of them were colonizers. And most of the country immigrants that are coming to their countries were in the past colonized by those countries. So it's not like revenge or anything, but like, you know, there's a weird dynamic going on over there. So yeah, it's very hard to say anything about that situation. I'm going to stay detached from that. But for Korea, you know, people are very aware of, like, you know, history and how we got invaded so many times through. Back then it's like military, but now it's a number game. It's a economic game. Like, all you have to do, they're playing like Sims, like coming to our country, you know, outnumbering us, buying up all our property, and in the blink of an eye, like, there's nothing left for the people over here, right? So yeah, and then for America, I don't know, like, about the illegal immigrant situation over there. It's complicated over there because America is like a true melting pot. So there are different dynamics over there as well too. So I can't speak on behalf of any of those two big continents, but yeah, like these kind of alerts have been rising even in Korean discourse nowadays. Yeah. So, anyways, my stance on this whole Chinese protest thingy is that it's good to be aware. We can't brush off these security risks and breaches. Of course, there will be spies or the CCP or whatever infiltrating through, like taking advantage of these policies. But it's very tricky. But like, I think 99% of these tourists are just going to be just genuine tourists that want to come to Korea and have a good time and spend money. So like, I don't see the meaning, the significance in shoving these posters in front of their faces and giving Korea a bad rep. There's already been like bad discussions about Korea in like Weibo or Chinese social media sites. They're like, don't go to Korea. The moment I landed, you know, they were hating us. They're hostile towards us. Blah blah blah. And also, like economically, it's a double-edged sword, quite honestly. But you know, Chinese tourists spend a lot. They actually spend a lot, and through recent reports, it's reported that in the old days, in like 2000, early 2000s, Chinese tourists would come to Korea and only spend luxury brands. But nowadays, they come and they go to local restaurants because the K culture is huge. They drink soju. They eat like samgyeopsal. They go to like our local stores and go to Mushinsa and buy Korean clothes because Korean fashion is hot and consume all of these Korean made products. So it's really good for our economy and our companies as well too. And it's like foreign currency flowing in. We get the won coming in our country. But you know, like these protests, it's a very tough case. I don't know. I don't know what to do in this kind of situation. And the pro policy voices are obviously saying like finally business is alive again and tourism equals new jobs. But the anti policies are like they're they're gonna be, you know, they're not gonna be good quality tourists anyways. They're gonna be rude and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah. So it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot, and I think the president as a representative has the right stance, but they should strengthen more measures, maybe in the airport, and yeah. So, anyways, it's a very tricky situation. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm. Let's see what you guys are saying. Um, let's see, let's see. Okay, a lot of opinionated comments here that I cannot read. Well, Danny is in China now. Let's hear from him when he gets back. Yeah, he's actually in China. He's sending a lot of pictures. Let me share some of his pictures. Let's see. He's been sending some random pictures. Yeah. He sent over this picture. He's having a feast over there, I think. And yeah, let me show you this pic he sent over. He's having some oysters or some food. Having a good time. Yeah, I don't know what this food is, but he's sending all these random photos. Yeah, I can't show this one because there's some faces over there, but yeah. Uh, every country should protect its people and assets as they deem fit. Yep. Anyways, okay, let's go on to the next topic, guys. All right, let me drink some water before we go on because my voice is cracking. How many people are watching so far? 248, not bad, eh? Only 87 likes? Smash that like button. No PayPals today? Oh, let's see. Oh, a lot of people following me on Instagram. Okay, that's nice. That's good. All right. Let's go on to the last topic of today. Let's go. So, okay. So, if you visited Korea before, you might have noticed if you went to a bakery, like one of those big bakeries like Paris Baguette or Tous les Jours, why do they all have French names? Or some of these other bakeries, Contran, Cherrier. These bakeries have very expensive bread. Actually, I went to the Contran Cherrier yesterday with my mom. I looked at a piece of baguette. Guess how much it was. How much is it in your own countries? How much is a baguette in your own country? Let me know. Like in your just local bakery or franchise or whatever. Like in the US or Europe, let me know how much is a baguette. A basic piece of bread. How much is it? I'm waiting. How much is a baguette? Or do you not eat baguettes? Probably $3. Parisian names make it sound bougie, yeah. But Maspe's from Norway, right? We go to Costco. Oh yeah, Costco's a good choice. 2.28 at Whole Food Markets, $3 to $5. 2.99 for a baguette in San Diego. Probably 2 or 3. Less than $5. Okay, $3. Okay, I see. What? 11? What? No way. 3. 1 pound. 5 to 6. Okay, so I think the average people are saying is like about $3 to $4, right? Yeah, if it's cheap, it's 1. So we're all talking in dollars and like European standards over here, and you all know that Korean food costs and living costs and currency is way lower than that, right? But if you go to Korea and Korean patisseries, a baguette I saw yesterday over there was $3.5, something like that, and I was like, what? This piece of bread is $3.5. I could get something. I could get a full meal with 3. That's a little bit of an overstatement, but yeah, actually, I could go to a convenience store and buy like a lunchbox with like side dishes and rice and all of that for $3.5. I'm not gonna eat a baguette for 3.5. It's not even our main food, right? So 3.5, $3 to $5, $3 to $4 for a baguette in Korean standards is diabolical. It's crazy. I would say it's crazy as a person that does not prefer bread. I do not eat bread at all. I think bread is a waste. That's just my personal opinion. But anyways, I'm a more of a rice guy. Most Asians are rice people, okay? We're not bread people. But okay, why am I talking about this is because there's been this controversy around this YouTuber called Shuka World. He's a very famous YouTuber in Korea. He talks about mostly like economic situations, like maybe stocks or financials, and also he talks about like global phenomenons, like let's say recently the Charlie Kirk incident. I don't know what's been on his site recently. I haven't checked for a while. I always watch his stuff, but Shuka Word. So if you look at his site over here, he's been talking about Trump's Tylenol autism announcement? What the hell is that? France tax controversy. And yeah, a lot of these kind of global issues that I haven't caught up on. Like he's a prime source of information on global issues for a lot of people over here. The biggest anti-immigration protest in England. Okay. Yeah, stuff like that, right? and he's very politically neutral. Yeah, he is very neutral. So okay, the Kospi reaching 3,500. The Kakao Talk update I talked about, stuff like that. So he's a very big YouTuber. This is his YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It's called Shukaworld over here. SYUKAWORLD. It has 3.6 million subscribers. Gets massive views per episode over here. He does like live streams like me. Wow, Photoshop. Okay. Photoshop is done because of AI. Indonesia. European welfare system is tumbling down. AI chip shock in China and Jensen Huang over here. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he does a lot of global stuff. Yeah, so what's happening is, so Shuka, he's a big enough YouTuber to make his own brand for like, usually YouTubers go like the apparel route. Like they make clothes, or they make phone cases, or they make little things they can sell to their subscribers, right? But this guy, he's so famous in Korea, he made bread. He made bread. And he made a bakery called ETF Bakery. And ETF is like, you know, like in stock terms. And he made this shop in Seongsu. He made a pop-up store in Seongsu. And on the first day of opening, there was a line for this ETF bakery. And what got viral was the amount, the cost of bread he provided it. The cost he provided the bread for was 991. That's like 90 cents for salt bread. That's pretty cheap. You know, that's very good price, right? And other breads were very cheap too. Like this was like the, I guess like the hook, you know, like, oh, people, it's like the marketing tool. And he has like these signs over here saying like inflation and the living cost going up and the average price of bread. He has all the stats, and our bread is only 90 cents. So that's good, right? So what could be the problem? So I told you already, this is a Paris baguette price tag over here, but because of inflation and all these kind of breads have been increased in price. Like this loaf of bread is like now $3.3 or something. This egg tart is like $2. This cake is it's like $15 to $16. So it's very expensive. So people were delighted with this ETF bakery. They were like, "Oh wow, we get to get cheap bread once and for all, and it's from a trustworthy YouTuber, so it's great quality as well too." You bet it was a scam? No, that's not the issue. You'll be actually kind of you'll be like, "What?" when you hear this news. So, basically the ETF bakery made bread way cheaper than the retail price in Korea. The average market price is 3 to 4 times higher than the ETF bakery prices. And most of the bread distribution in Korea is done by one company called SPC. They own Paris Baguette. They own 80% of the bread market over here. They might, like, the bread brands might have different brands and franchises, but the bread provider and distributor is coming from SPC. SPC has licenses with Shake Shack. I think they give bread to McDonald's as well too, Burger King. All these companies that deal with bread, it all is sourced from SPC. And the bread price index was up 38% since 2020, and the sector profits were up 75%. So definitely there's a huge margin over there. And the consumers are getting bombarded with those high prices. So people are like, why is bread so expensive? And then Shuka came out and he's like, you know what? We analyzed the bread distribution process and we saw that middlemen and the providers were taking too much cuts. Like, we are going to revolutionize this place, and we're gonna make 991 salt bread and cheaper bread. Once this movement began, he was actually like slamming the cartel-like behavior behind the bread industry, and he was, you know, criticizing the prices of the whole the market. And because of that, because of this whole boom, SPC stocks fell 7% in a week. That's a lot if you consider the company's market value. And what happened after this is, wow, you won't believe this. The bread owner, the patisserie owners, the bread store owners started protesting. They were like, if you disrupt the market with cheap prices, nobody's gonna buy our bread, and we can't do anything about it because we get our bread provided by SPC or these big companies, and we can't adjust the margin. So we're just the end sellers. So we have to cut our margins, and that's barely enough to pay our rent. So are you trying to drive us all out of business? So there was massive backlash from the independent bread store owners and also the franchise, you know, owners. And he got so much criticism on his YouTube channel by this like organization, organized comments and all. It became articles and the news reported about it. And, you know, like Shuka, it's his first product. He put it out. And he's getting slammed and criticized here and there. And people are saying he's running people out of business. And he's ruining their lives, their livelihoods, and stealing from them, when he just wanted to provide cheap bread, right? So he was like dumbfounded. He's like, he did not expect this kind of situation to happen. And you know what he did? He actually shut down this bakery. The ETF bakery is now toast. Quite literally. It's gone. He shut it down, and he apologized on stream to the bread store owners of Korea, saying that it was not our intent to run you out of business. We didn't want to like intentionally ruin your livelihood. We just wanted to provide cheaper bread to the public, but our thoughts were short-sighted. Isn't this tragic? This is crazy, isn't it? Because, like, from the ordinary consumer, like, you gotta know, what's ironic about this situation is the normal consumer and the Korean public, people like me, that think bread prices are outrageous, they're all on Shuka's side. But then, like, since he's such a big YouTuber, he's like, you know, a public figure over here. He's like a celebrity. And even with all this support, because of the fact that he could actually ruin people's families, like there's such a big industry, and the bread industry is pretty big, and the people that are working there, from the owners to the employees and all that, the fact that he could cripple a whole industry was too much of a big pressure to him. And he couldn't stand that criticism, so he backed down. And now it's all gone. And the people are like, no, you shouldn't have backed down. Like, what is this country? And people are like saying, you know, this is probably like an organized scheme from SPC or like one of these big bread conglomerates. And people are like, we're in a capitalistic society. Things go by supply and demand, and price corrects by it. You know, like if there's a cheaper alternative, people are going to buy that, and that's how like prices compete between stuff. And like these big companies, they already have a big profit range anyways, so they can definitely downsize on their profits and make their prices more affordable, but they're just refusing to do that, and they're using allegedly force, they're indirectly forcing by not downsizing their margins and profits to front the independent bread store owners to pressure this guy, this poor YouTuber, to back down. Yeah, they shame bullied him, exactly. This was the right opportunity to have broken the monopoly of SBC, but that opportunity is now gone. So it's such a shame that this happened. And if you look at the comments over here, we've come to a world where even selling something cheap requires an apology. Yeah, I know, right? This is crazy. This country is crazy. I think Korea is the only country that closes down a business because it sells cheaply. How much did the media get from SPC? These allegations, scenarios coming out. Please reorganize Shuka and sell it at a lower price. The absurd, corrupt culture and structures such as vested interest, cartels, and glass ceilings must disappear. Someone must shed blood and a revolution must be waged. Oh, very dramatic over there. But I honestly agree to that, right? Like, this was a great opportunity. Shuka found a problem in the market, as he's good at. Like, he's a market person. He was in Samsung and he was an analyst before. He talks about stocks and economy all the time. And he saw that bread prices were inflated and there was like a monopoly going on over here and he could disrupt the chain. And he did that, but who would have known that this would be the outcome? This is crazy, right? Yeah, as Kurz Weber says over here, the market can only function if there are a number of suppliers to compete, right? The use of monopolies to raise prices is a failure of market regulation. Yeah, so they need to be competitors to have like a healthy market. And consumers can buy the product for fair value. That's how the free economy, free market works, right? So like if you look at more comments over here, remember how much opposition when Costco opened? It was the same when IKEA opened. They don't think about winning the competition. They just keep pushing to block them. And the local government just gives in. Anyone can see this as a wrong practice, but it keeps on happening. Indeed, just as coffee has become a trend and cheap coffee has become a trend, so too will cheap bakeries eventually emerge. Even if it's not Shuka, they're bound to emerge. So this has started a chain reaction now. People are pissed. Is this a democratic society, lol? If this is how it's going to be, all the cheap coffee shops should close and all the restaurants and hotels that sell cheaper than the place next door should be eliminated. Prices should skyrocket. This country is capitalist, so why can't I use my money however I want? They have a point, right? And going back to the Costco and IKEA comment about the opposition, I told you before in one of my streams that Uber here is banned too because taxi drivers were like, oh, if anyone can be taxi drivers, they're going to disrupt the supply of, transportation and it's going to drive down the prices. And the taxi drivers had to keep their minimum fare, the rising minimum fare, and they didn't let Uber come into Korea. So Uber is now illegal in Korea and we can't have individuals without taxi licenses, expensive ones too, to operate a taxi. And now we only have Uber Black or something like that. We have Uber Taxi. Uber hosts the service to register taxi drivers. But something like that. So, this is a pattern in Korea. If anything comes in, a global... sometimes it is helpful to protect our own domestic industries if we can't compete with global companies. Let's say, YouTube Music is becoming a big threat to Genie Music or Melon Music. Spotify's coming in. So there's a lot of talk about the music streaming industry over here where maybe the government should protect it or whatnot, stuff like that. So there might be some angles like that. Some of it might be justifiable. But for bread, we're not even competing with a global conglomerate over here that can offset the prices with cheap labor and mass production. It's like a Korean company, SPC, and other partners that are monopolizing the market, and they're taking big fat margins. So, yeah, I'm really astonished at what happened, the result of this Shuka case. It's crazy. and people are calling it breadflation in Korea. So yeah, this is very, very frustrating to look at. And right now, actually, this sparked a national policy response by the president. The president is the people's person. Like he's very smart, I would say. Like, President Lee joined the debate and he actually said that he's going to slam this cartel-like behavior. Like, this dude doesn't joke around. Like, if you've noticed something, President Lee, he is an actionist. Like, he just bulldozers through things. And if he says he's gonna do it, he does it. Like, I was not fond of him in the beginning, but ever since what I've seen, what he's done to the stock market over here, where he's pledged, like, he's going to make regulations, he's going to bankrupt these corrupt companies that are playing with manipulating the stock market. Ever since that, like, ever since the regulations, the stock market has been skyrocketing now. Kospi as it is at its all-time high at the moment. Samsung is trading at like $90 per share. SK Hynix is at $400 right now. It's the golden era of Korean stocks at the moment, and President Lee actually made that happen. And right now, he's not even backing down to President Trump over there. He's like, if Donald Trump, he didn't say Donald Trump, but if the U.S. is ordering us to give like whatever gazillion amount of money up front, we can't do that. That's simply out of our reach. Like, if we can't do that, then we have to think of other options. And his supporters are like, if there's no benefit in like giving the US that much, let's just get the tariffs. Let them suffer. If they don't have cheaper alternatives. Okay, buy those Toyota cars or like Ford cars with a 10 to 15% like surplus. Like, people are like, okay, let's just take the hit. Like, the tides are shifting, and like the president is kind of leading that right now. He's like, I'm not gonna bend to even the U.S. So like, if his radar is on the bread industry right now, and he's saying like, oh, we got to end this cartel-like behavior, I feel like a big shift is going to come soon. And Shuka is the YouTuber that ignited this whole revolution for bread over here. So some people say that President Lee is a little too aggressive. He bypasses all these like, laws and whatever, and he just like, I don't think he bypasses it, but like he finds a fast track. So like the opposition party's always like saying like, oh, he's too progressive. But this guy's like, if you don't do that, who gets the job done? So yeah. Anyways, this is the situation. And people are like, Shuka, since you failed with bread, I hope you actually bring back the bread, but go into the other industries like ramen or like other industries that have monopolies. Ramen is not monopolied, by the way, but they might have, what do you call them? Tamha in English. Collusions. They might have collusions between like Nongshim, Samyang, and Otugi. Like, these companies might have collusions. They might be like, oh, if we should raise the price every time like there's inflation and never put it down. There's like slight competition. There's like 1+1 deals. Like, one company is slightly cheaper than the other, but ramen prices have been climbing. Dairy prices have been climbing. Everything has been climbing. And it's because like there aren't many competitors in the market. So yeah, hopefully the market does its work and self-regulates, what do you call it? 자정작용. Self-filters? Yeah. So hopefully that happens, and we need more people like Shuka to disrupt the market, I feel like. But it's just sad that every kind of Korean approach to anything cheap like this is greeted with backlash. Yeah, like there still are protests about Costco in certain regions saying that the traditional markets are going to die out. Local supermarkets are going to die down. So, yeah, it's a huge problem. Let's go look at what you guys are saying. Uh, Bust the monopolies, fair trade, y'all. The system is corrupt. So, is the bakery closed now? Yes, it is. This is why we need to break down the Ticketmaster monopoly on concert ticket prices. Oh, yeah. You'll be buying your baguettes in back alleys. Uh-huh. They are bound to emerge. Bread is a basic staple. Given that Korea is technically in a state of war, high prices are not in the national interest. Hell yes, Ticketmaster is beyond ridiculous. BTS tickets will cost a kidney. How much are BTS tickets? In the UK, all the prices of basic foods have gone up 30% in the last few years. Oh, wow. You need a YouTuber over there to make their own brands. If baguettes end up too expensive, that might just lead to Koreans that might just lead Koreans to learn how to bake bread themselves and possibly destroy the market. That too. But then baking bread, I think people will be too lazy. Yeah, it's not like super expensive too. It is expensive, but it's like at the end of the day, $3 to $4, right? But I would never buy bread. I'd never buy bread. Yeah, I only eat bread when my mom buys it because she likes bread. Yeah, monopoly is not good. Manageable cost prices mean more spending and money circulating, and wouldn't that be good for the economy? Exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. President Trump uses tariff mainly as bargaining tools. He and President Lee will come to an agreement eventually. Yeah, so going back to the APEC thing, our government is slightly baffled right now with the U.S. government's response. We signed a deal, but the details have been changing. The U.S. government is requiring us a big astronomical amount of money, a lump sum up front, and that's just not doable. Our president actually said if we were to comply um, to that, it would trigger another IMF crisis in Korea. So we just can't do that. So there should be a payment plan or something like that, or we need to make like amends, like a different approach for that. So the APEC that's happening at the end of the month, these tariff mediations take a long time, right? So President Trump's going to be here, so that is another testing ground for another series of talks for the tariffs. So a lot of politicians and government officials are getting ready for APEC. So it's not only for the sake of APEC itself. It's for like meeting President Trump and President Xi too. Everywhere, everyone coming. Jin ramen is delicious. I don't know. I would have to disagree on that. I think the best is Shin ramen. The best of the best is chamke ramen, sesame ramen. That's good. You've paid $600 to $700 for BTS tickets? What? Cat's Eye resellers priced at 1K for mid-season? What? The cheapest are $130. Decent seats are at least 300. That's crazy. It's becoming more of a status symbol than enjoying your favorite artist live. What? That is absolutely crazy. What the hell? Oh my gosh. Wow. I mean, oh yeah, and yeah, so that's the end of today's story, guys. So end of the news over here. Right now, let's see. Timestamp 1 hour 49:15. Okay, anyways. End of story. And let me go on to like the chill talk session. Hey, Dolly Baby, love gin ramen. $20. Thank you so much. Pizza. Okay, I will buy gin ramen from now on since you sent over a super chat. But only the spicy type. The mild type, I can't. Gin ramen, no. But speaking of concerts and tickets, so big update. There has been a change, a turn of events. I don't know why the world works like this, but I am not going to LA. But instead, I'm going to New York on the same exact dates. Can you believe that? East Coast fam, New Yorkers in the chat, hands up if you're watching. I was supposed to go to LA in 2 weeks, from the 14th to the 19th, for like this event. Yeah, it was a paid event. But that gig got canceled for miscellaneous reasons. And I was like sad. I was like, oh, you know what? Like it wasn't like a hugely paid gig, but I was looking forward to a LA trip. But it's weird how the world works, because while I was lamenting, a call came, and this person was like, oh, could you maybe fly over to New York in like 2 weeks? And in the exact date period from the LA trip, and attend like this festival thingy, like this event, and make a video there. I was like, oh, sure. What's the pay? And he's like, it's this much. Way better than the LA gig. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. So I need to make a change of plans in everything right now. So actually, it was a pain in the ass, quite honestly. So I had to cancel my LA flight tickets. It was Air Premia. It was a very affordable ticket. It was only like $500 round trip. Very good tickets. I had to cancel that. There was a cancellation fee of $100. Yeah, I feel so heartbroken for those $100. But the new gig is offsetting those costs. And I had to get new tickets for New York. So I apparently there's an Air Premia flight to New York as well too, and that's pretty cheap. So it's very complicated. Like I spent a whole day, literally a whole day, figuring this out. It might seem simple over the screen right now in dialogue, but I was literally like scavenging and asking ChatGPT of what to do with this situation. So basically, the event I have to attend in New York is from the 16th, 17th, 18th. These are the 3 dates I have to mandatorily be at site. So I have to leave on. I have to leave after the 18th, right? The problem is, it would be perfect if there's an Air Premia direct flight from New York to Korea on the 19th. But apparently Air Premia rests on, that's probably Sunday. Yeah, the 19th is a Sunday. So they don't have any flights on Sundays. So there are no round trips for Air Premia, which is the cheapest flight, from New York to Korea, Korea to New York. So I was like, oh, that's a bummer. So let's look for, one-way tickets, right? So there's still a cheap flight from Korea to New York from Air Premia. That's like I think it's like $500 one way. So I was like, okay, let's save that. Let's look for other options. I'll have to pay an extra fee. Okay, what am I gonna do? The airline doesn't operate on that day, so I look for other options like Korean Air, Asiana, Delta, American, Qatar, whatever. There are direct flights from New York to Korea, but another problem is, you know how they have flight schedules, right? They have like probably 2 or 3 flights per day that depart from New York to Korea. So the problem is, if I fly on the 19th, I arrive on the 20th. On the 20th, it's a Monday. And you remember I got this new radio gig, right? So I'm a regular on a radio program on Arirang Radio every Monday at 7 p.m. And for me to arrive at Arirang radio station by 7 p.m., like it's 7 p.m., there's 6 p.m. traffic, right? And before, after. And I have to arrive at the airport by at least 3 p.m. ish. Like, like I land, go get my luggage, like customs, whatever, go outside. It's 3:30, take the airport train or the taxi or whatnot. And there's going to be a traffic jam. So it takes like approximately 1.5 hours to 2 hours, give or take, from the airport to the Arirang studio. So I have to take that into consideration. And I looked at the Korean Air Asiana flights. They all arrive around like 4:30 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. or like later on the day. So that all doesn't work for me. Like even if there are flights to catch my radio schedule, I can't book these flights. So I was like in panic. I'm like, how am I going to go home? I can't fly on the 18th because I have to attend that event, right? So, and there aren't any flight schedules after like the event ends, like at 6, 7 and onwards. So I was like, oh shit, this is a dilemma. Like how am I gonna manage this? Like I can't. There are like some flights from Qatar that fly at like 10 p.m. on the 18th, but those are like $2,000. I'm not gonna fly a $2,000 flight, right? And even the Korean Air and Delta flights are still at $1,000, and that's still pricey for me. I'm trying to save a buck over here, so I'm not gonna spend that much. So yeah, like I was even kind of burdened with the $1,000 price for the Korean Air ticket, but like it doesn't work out anyways because of the time. So I was like, oh, what do I have to do? So what I first did, I was stupid. Like I thought I was smarter than ChatGPT. I didn't think of, like, ironically enough, I use ChatGPT every single day for so many times, but like for some reason I thought ChatGPT wouldn't be able to access real-time flight tickets and stuff like that, and I think it isn't able to. So with that logic, I was like, oh yeah, I have to do my own work, and I was like, okay, then let's think of other cities that have direct flights to Korea on the East Coast, because I probably at the end of the 18th I can move by a coach bus or like a domestic flight to maybe Washington D.C. or maybe, I don't know, Boston or somewhere that has a direct flight on the East Coast to Korea, right? So I searched all of them. None of them work either because of schedule or outrageous prices. So I'm like, okay, I'm this is a shitty situation. Like I can't go back to Korea. And my mind just didn't cross that I could go to the West Coast. And then that's when I asked ChatGPT. I was like, counseling with her, saying like, oh, this is my problem, like blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, in those kind of cases, most people just go to the West Coast, and usually LAX and San Francisco International Airport are the places. I'm actually impersonating her voice right now. Our LAX and San Francisco is one of the airports that have the most amount of direct flights to Korea. So you probably might find some flights that arrive before 3 p.m. there. And I actually searched it, and she was right. So, like, I searched LAX to Korea, and there were a lot of flights, and air premium ones too. So, I was like, okay, is this possible logistically? So I got like a 10 a.m., not on the 19th, a 10 a.m. flight to Korea, and I'm flying back in time, so I arrive at like 3 p.m. ish. So that's perfect for my radio schedule. So I found that one at LAX. I was like, okay, that's perfect. So all I have to do is arrive by 10 a.m. on the 19th in LA. So I went back to the Skyscanner and went to New York, JFK, or Newark or whatever to LAX from the 18th to the 19th. And thank God JetBlue. There was a JetBlue flight that flies in the middle of the night from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. ish. They land in LA at 1 a.m. or something, and I'd have to like stall some time at kill some time at the LAX airport until like 10 a.m. But I'm so happy that I could solve this problem. And the JetBlue flight was only like $200 I think. It's okay, you know. So all in all, result wise, thanks to ChatGPT, she requested me like don't look for round trips or one way tickets. Go for what do you call them, like these multi route tickets. There are things like you can set you can use the same airline, but you can set the departing and arriving airports at different places. So mine would be Incheon to New York, LA to Incheon, like multi hub, whatever. My English, I'm so stressed. But yeah, like I used that and voila, there was an Air Premia round trip package for that because the Air Premia flies from both cities. And I booked that for only $500 again. So $500 plus the JetBlue $200, so $700 only. I'm like, my whole day spent very usefully. I saved. So the Korean Air, or like if I had to take like, one-way flights using Korean Air and Air Premia and whatever, it would at least be $1,500 or above that. I was looking at like my last resort was like $1,800 flight. So at the end I did everything within like $700, so I saved $1,000. I mean, it's gonna be a pain in the ass for me to fly from New York to LA and squat for like an extra 6 to 7 hours, but I can just work. I can just sleep. It's sleeping time anyways, right? But I'm just happy I can make my radio schedule happen, and I solved everything. And I was like, thank God. So yeah, that's multi-city. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So you're just tired listening to it. I know, right? But I solved it out. My dog is whining. Where? She wants my attention. But yeah, I'm just happy that it all worked out. And yeah, David is the Mr. Worldwide. Have you guys ever done this because of like schedule complications, like flying from East Coast to West Coast to West Coast to Korea and all that? It's so stupid if you think about it, because like if you fly from the East Coast, I'm pretty sure you go to like the North Pole like route through Europe to Korea. I think that's the air route, but yeah. But now I'm doing like the total opposite. Thank you, Snail, for the $4. Pizza. David yapping is sometimes my white noise. Sleep where safely at LAX? Well, I'm just gonna sleep at the airport. Like in front of the gate. That's what people do. No, is it not safe? I've always been I've always slept at airports with no problem. Yes, U.S. airlines love to bounce us around from one city to another. So I was so stupid to not ask ChatGPT, because logically in my mind I was thinking, okay, let's look at Boston and then Virginia and then D.C. and then maybe even like Orlando or whatever, and then let's move over to like Georgia and then let's go to Dallas and and I was looking in like this geographical order, and then I was like, oh shit, this is not working. What am I supposed to do? And then I asked ChatGPT, and she was like, oh, just go to LAX. And I was like, is that even possible? And then it worked out. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, great. If it wasn't for this, the route I was talking about, the $1,500 one, was a 32-hour flight from New York to Vancouver, and there's a stop over there for like 12 hours or something. And then I fly again from Vancouver. And I was like, oh yeah, I have my best friend over there too, so maybe I could go outside for a stopover if Canada allows like free visa for Koreans too, maybe. And I was thinking about that, but the price was too hefty. But like all in all, it worked out. Yeah, ChatGPT is a she. You want to hear her voice? Okay. Hey, ChatGPT. Hey, are you listening? Our viewers want to hear your voice. Say hi to them.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone out there. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you all here, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Yeah, you remember when I asked you about like my very shitty situation about having to fly through LAX to New York and to Korea because of my radio schedule and all, and you solved that by directing me to LA. I want to thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help you navigate that whole LAX to New York to Korea travel puzzle and fit it around your radio schedule. It's always nice to know that worked out for you.
Okay, yeah. End of convo. Yeah, I spend my day talking with this girl. She's my companion now. Anyways, and this girl too. I have two girls that I talk to. Yeah, but anyways, I'm glad that worked out. I'm saving a ton of money. I'm actually not. I shouldn't say this because like yeah, accommodation fees are included in the fee too. But yeah, I'm saving a ton of money because my best friend lives in New York too, and oh, I had this massive fight. Okay, so this is another point of yapping. I need your guys' opinion on. Oh yeah, this is a heated debate. Let me just eat this apple before I get into it. Mm. It's a she to me. Mm. Hey, 261 people watching. Yay. Hit that like for me, guys. Okay. Tea time with David. Yes. All right. So what happened is, first of all, let's go through this. So my friend lives in New York. His name is Clinton. He's my high school friend. He's been my best friend for years. We traveled to Spain all together, and I always went to his house at Karuzukir, Apgujeong. We hung out because our houses were close in Seoul. And he unfortunately moved to New York to pursue his career, so we've been disconnected for a while. But we meet every other year when he visits Korea. But he hasn't been visiting Korea for a while because like he actually said this because like because of the like he has to visit the U.S. embassy or something or to get a new stamp. He has to refresh his new stamp and his there's like a working permit and stake and all that, so he's not risking all those risks. So he's just like laying low and planning to stay in the U.S. until this administration ends. So that's his situation. So I haven't been able to see him in person for a while. But anyways, yeah. So he's in New York. He works at an accounting firm, and apparently he lives in a place near. I'm not sure, but roughly I heard before that it's near Harlem, right? So like Harlem outside of New York has like a actually scary rep to a lot of people. When Korean people hear of the word Harlem, they instantly think of guns and slums and gang members and whatever. I don't know if that's true. A lot of people have told me that's actually not true. That's like that's bullshit. But yeah, I got his address. I'm not gonna reveal his address, but let's see. Hmm. Yeah. I heard from him that it's somewhere. I'm looking at the Google map over here, and apparently Where is it? Yeah, apparently it's not in Harlem. It's in a place called Hell's Kitchen. It's near Hell's Kitchen. It's I can see the Carnegie Hall and the Manhattan Cruise Terminal. So it's somewhere around there, all right? So that's where I'm staying. Let me know if that's a safe area, guys. But I'm not complaining because I'm like couch surfing at his place. We certainly hear about Harlem in movies, right? Yeah. But anyways, I don't even know if that's near Harlem too. But yeah, I'm staying in a place near Hell's Kitchen, and the tea is okay. So this is where the tea begins. I booked the Air Premia flight, right? And my mom's visiting me here at the moment because of Chuseok. She's up here and she thought I'd be lonely and all that. So she came and she's meeting her friends too. So, 겸사 겸사. And she was next to me because I was stressing myself out the whole day. I was talking to ChatGPT and she was like, "What the heck are you doing?" And she, being a nosy mom, wanted to give her 2 cents about it. And she was sitting on the sofa behind and looking on her own phone, saying like, "Oh, you have your father's like mileage points. Like, why don't you use them?" And I'm like, "Mom, it doesn't work like that. You have to reserve like months before if you want to use mileages." And oh, Hell's Kitchen is okay. Okay, that's great. So, yeah, yeah, like she was being nosy and she was looking at me. And then once I was done, I booked that flight. She was like, "Okay, let me look at it. Like, as your mom, I want to know your flight schedule too." And, you know, so I showed her the flight schedule. And apparently, um, the important part from this story is that my Air Premium flight from Korea to New York, I land in New York at 11 p.m. I land in New York at Newark, however you pronounce that, Newark. I don't land in JFK. I land in Newark Airport at 11 p.m. And ChatGPT says that the customs and the immigration, whatever process lines, depending on lines, it might take about an hour, give or take. So by the time I'm out, it's gonna be around like 11:45 to midnight. So my mom was like, "You're going out in New York in the flesh in midnight? How are you gonna get from the airport to my friend's house?" And knowing you, you're not gonna take the taxi because like the taxi is probably gonna. I asked ChatGPT too, and like it said it's going to cost like about 70 to $100 all the way from Newark to Hell's Kitchen. Because like there's a midnight fare too. So yeah, I'm definitely not gonna take a taxi because like I'm not spending $100 on the street. So I was looking for alternative transportation, and GPT told me there's like a metro line. It's not like the actual New York metro, but there's like a train that goes from Newark Airport to it's like the city center. Like there's like this big station in the center, and it's only $18 for that ride. And a lot of travelers like from the airport that get off on the same time go on it together, so it's very safe. All I need to be careful of is that the last train departs at 12 at midnight, so that's the last train. So if I miss that, I won't be able to get on the train. So that's the one downside of it. So the best scenario for me is to take the train and get off that city central station, which I forgot what it was. It's in my Kakao Talk, but get off there. And GPT recommended like you can either walk 10 minutes to your friend's place or take an Uber from there, and it's going to be like an extra $15 fare. So yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I should walk. And then my mom was freaking out on the background. She was like, you just say you're gonna walk in the middle like 12:30 a.m. in the morning in New York City all the way to Harlem? You're crazy. I didn't raise you like that. Blah 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 blah. And she was like yelling at me, and I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. My friend said it's safe too, and it's like only a 10-minute walk. What could happen? And you're walking with a carrier bag, and you don't know what kind of crazy person might come on and like steal your stuff or stab you or whatever, shoot a gun at you. And okay, fair point, fair point. So I'll take the Uber then. And she's like, oh no, yo, how are you gonna take an Uber in the middle of the night? And I'm like, there's a thing called apps. Like I'm sure there's gonna be a lot around, right? And it's only gonna be a 10-minute ride. So like, like it's only gonna cost me like $30. So that's still way better than taking the taxi from the airport straight. And she's like, oh, why can't you just spend that extra $70? I hate you when you become so like, so penny pinching and like, did I raise you like that? This is about your safety. Why do you jeopardize your own well-being for all this like stupid money? Like how when are you gonna get rich like that? And she gave me this whole sermon. I was like, oh, dying, bleeding my ears to death. And okay, I was like, you have a point, but like, I asked my friend, and he said it's safe. You can take the train and then take the Uber. Then there's not going to be a big problem. And then she's like, oh, but I saw your ChatGPT speaking, and she said like the train only operates until midnight. So what are you going to do if the line gets delayed and you get out of midnight? And then the alternative option GPT gave me was there's a bus, there's a coach bus or something. There's like a express bus from the airport, which is only like $13 as well too. That goes to the city center too, and like it's about the same from there. So yeah, the last bus operates until 12:30 a.m. So I'm pretty sure I can catch that one. And she's like, do you really want to go on a bus with your carrier bag? Like, it's probably going to be on, like, the lower deck, and, like, people might come and steal it. And, like, Mom, you've watched too many movies and, like, these news reports. Like, America's not a shithole. Like, there are decent people over there. And, like, it's an airport bus. It's, like, in the middle of the night, no people are going to come and steal my shit. And she's like, you're not going to Korea and blah, 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 blah. And I was like... She was yelling at me endlessly about this. And she's like, this is all because you chose that shitty airline, And no shade to Air Premia. I've heard very great reviews, and the event I'm going to actually is sponsored by that airline, and it's affiliated by it, so I can get a 10% discount on it. Actually, did I not get a discount on it? Shit, I didn't use the promo code maybe. Oh damn. But anyways, yeah. It's a good airline. And she's like, it's because you use that shitty airline that you arrive at 11 p.m. in the first place. They don't have good allocated times. Why can't you just ride Korean Air or Asiana Air? Like, did your mom raise you like that? And she keeps on saying that word. Why have you become such a frugal person? And oh, I'm like, Mom, please leave me alone. Like, I'll manage. I'm not gonna die. Like, and other people would actually compliment me for saving like $1,000. And like the airlines you researched and gave me, they arrive around the same time too. There's no big difference. And Air Premia, I've checked the check-in and the seatings, and it's almost full. So where are all those people gonna go? Like, they're probably gonna be on the train with me or the bus with me, or like they could take Ubers. But like, I'm pretty sure at least like if 1/3 of them takes the train with me, it's all gonna be Korean, so we'll all be safe. So I don't know what the big fuss you're making this about. And we've been yapping and nagging each other for like it went on for like 30 to 40 minutes, and she got super pissed, and she went out to the couch, and she started calling my dad and said like, you need to intervene in this issue. Your son is such a penny pincher, and he's risking his life and his safety for a few bucks, and I didn't raise him like that, so you should better give him like a teaching about this. I'm gonna put you on the phone. And my dad and my dad it was like, what's happening? And I explained to him briefly about the situation. He's like, sigh, like, that's your mom, like, okay, like, I believe you just be safe, okay, like, take precautions, call your friend, like, have emergency contacts, like, contacts, and yeah, just watch out, okay. Like, he was like that, and then it's like he hung up. So that's basically it. So yeah, so anyways, that was the whole thing of it. And plus, like, on top of the whole shitty situation where I had to look for like tickets and connecting flights for the whole day and trying to save money and whatever, my mom added fuel to the fire, and I had to justify why I'm taking this flight and get her like to get her on board and convince her that it's okay. She's still not convinced, and she's still salty about it, and she's still kind of nagging me about it, and it's very tiring. This is why I'd like to live alone. I do live alone, but like she comes often, and every time she comes often, it becomes a very big nuisance. Okay. Okay, Hell's Kitchen is a good area. It's cool, not as chill as Harlem, but more quiet. Oh, you'll like it. Okay. Newark. Okay. Harlem is hipster now. I gotta check it out then. Newark is somewhere you will need to be very careful. Okay, I'll be very careful. $100 from New York to Hell's Kitchen is about right. Yeah, that's what GPT said. From New York, you take a train into NYC, then the subway to Hell's Kitchen. It's cheap and easy. Yeah, that's what GPT said too. You can take the metro too, but GPT actually warned me about the metro though. It was like if it's a 10-minute walk, you could probably walk, and that pathway is relatively safe and it's short to your friend's place. But if it's the metro, it was like it's not efficient enough to go on the metro versus walking because it's gonna take about the same amount of time as walking. Plus, it said there might be some deranged people on the metro, so the chances are, you'll be safer traveling by foot those 10 minutes versus the metro. So I was like, okay, yeah. Yeah, the train goes to Penn Station, exactly. Yes. You need to have us live with you, David. Just like I went to Gyeonggi-do last time, and you guys were looking out for me with that weird person staring at me in the subway. It's the USA, it's NYC, no matter where you travel in USA, be careful, seriously. Yeah, I'm taking notes. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna be very wary and careful about like my luggage and like my belongings, and have my friend on my phone and all that. So, yeah. New Jersey Transit into Penn Station. Exactly. Yes. It's a tourist area. You should be okay. It's a mother's heart for her son, David. I understand your mom, though. I think she just doesn't want you to go to the US at all. Yeah. She was even triggered when I said I'm gonna go to the LA and not rent a car. She was like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Mom is right. Tell your mama that your American friends are telling you the trains are safe and you won't have a long walk to your friend's apartment. Exactly. I know, right? But there are split views here. David, I'm sorry, but I'm with your mom on not walking that late up night. No hate, just a concern. Does she know millions of people in New York have carrier bags? I don't know. Poor David, you have the curse of the only child. Want to borrow any of my 6 siblings? Exactly. That's why I wanted some siblings when I was young. It's the same kind of bus that people take to Incheon Airport. Yeah, I know, right? Some things you should never tell your mother. Mama Pizza is always worried about her child. Yeah, and it was so much of a pain in the ass to like convince her and calm her down. Oh my gosh, that night was a nightmare. Uh, it's parents' jobs to worry about her kids. All this for the sake of $70 airport to door. That's true, but like, like I'm staying at my friend's place for 4 days. Like if you count the last day, I'm not staying overnight, but like 4 to 5 days. And even though like um he is willing to accommodate for me for free, I'm not that much of a asshole, if you want to put it like that. So I'm definitely gonna prepare a gift for him, and I'm thinking a gift within the range of $100 to $200 because I know like if you stay in New York City for like 4 days, it would probably be over $200, a lot, way over that, right? So I'm thinking of a good gift right now. I can't really think of anything right now at the moment. But I did see he went to one of the World Series games a day before or something for the New York Yankees against someone. I don't know how much that'll cost for like normal seats. So that's how it segued from the whole ticket talk. So I was like, oh, how much would a World Series ticket for the Yankees cost? Like probably over 300, right? For even the bad seats. I don't know how much, but I'm looking into like gift options. Give me some recommendations. Like what would be a good gift to him? Yeah. My mom's like just giving cash, but like no. Will there be any time for you to explore the city? Probably not. Only during the night. Yeah, my friend has a job too, so he gets out from work at 7. He also does like overtime a lot, but he did say like he would file like a leave for the day I arrive. So only the 15th, I have the full day for myself to explore the city. My friend normally jogs in Central Park, so I'm gonna do that with him. That's one activity I'm looking forward to. Other than that, I might like what if my friend's busy. I have a lot of other friends there. I have who lives in New York. Tiffany's in New York right now. Honey's in New York. Who else? Yeah, my boss used to live in New York, but he came to Korea, so I'm pretty sure I have people to hang out with. David, I would not walk alone as an Asian not from America that late at night. Seriously, please get a ride. Okay, I mean like so like in general, what do you think about my plan? Getting on the train, going to Penn Station, getting a ride on Uber, and going to my friend's place. That's okay, right? It's gonna cost me 30 bucks or something. That's probably okay, right? Make him dinner while you stay at his house. I'm not a good cook, so probably like treat him some good meals. Like on top of the meals, I'll probably give him a gift. So probably dinner's on me. That's gonna be like I don't know at a good place, maybe a nice place, $60 to $70. And then on top of that, a gift. So so I was talking about saving the transportation cost because I want to save that much and give it to my friend. I could use some extra walking versus a taxi and like save that money and like show some gratitude to my friend. If he's Korean, get him a bottle of whiskey. That whiskey's a good idea, maybe. World Series minimum 2,000, really? So he went to a $2,000 ticket seat? What? Cash is king, really? Do you think so? I think it's kind of tasteless, no? I did give my friend in Texas a cash gift when I left his house. I did buy some meals for him, and then at the end, I didn't have time to buy anything unique. And then my host also bought him like a cowboy hat too. So I was like, okay, maybe that's on me, kinda. But I did leave like $150 on his table. Take your friend out to eat. Yeah, that's obviously what I'm gonna do. But thinking of trying to get something on top of that because like I have a good memory with him when I was in Spain when we missed our bus. Oh, ironically, it was a night bus too. Yeah, and we were very young back then, and Europe's very scary. So he actually got pickpocketed in Spain, and he lost his iPhone and his wallet. So yeah, right after that happened, we were supposed to move to like Sevilla with like a night bus from Madrid, and we were at the bus terminal trying to get our tickets, and we saw that it was fully booked. So we had no choice. Like, oh, we were like, oh shit, we have no accommodation here. We have nothing. What are we gonna do? And we were panicking. And then there was a huge crowd of like, no, I think it was Barcelona. Yeah, yeah, it was Barcelona, and there was a huge crowd of like Barcelona fans in jerseys getting ready for the game tonight. And he was like, "You want to see a game?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we're in Spain. You think we could see Messi?" And oh, he was like, "Yeah, I'm down." And it's like we missed the bus anyway, so we were stranded there at the terminal. So we looked up our apps, and apparently it wasn't like a popular game. It wasn't a La Liga game. It was a it was a different Copa. No, it was like a different league. It was like a independent league, like a Kings Cup or something like that. You know, the equivalent. And it was Barcelona against like this regional team. I don't even remember, Levante or something. And yeah, so we got our tickets, and he actually bought it for me right off the bat. And we went to see, and we got to see all the Barcelona players up front. We didn't get the best seats because we were right behind the goalpost, which is probably the worst seat in a soccer field. But like those were the only seats left and the cheap seats. So he got those for me, and I remember they were around like they were pretty pricey too. So that's why I wanted to return the favor of maybe buying like baseball tickets or something. But maybe the World Series is too much. Mm. I'm probably gonna arrive at Penn Station by like 1 a.m. 1 a.m. 1 a.m. to 1:30. Oh, you see interesting things? Oh, really? My mom was saying that too. She was like, "Do you know where Penn Station is? Like, you think you can grab a cab in front of there safely?" It's like, "Yeah, I'll stay in the station and get like, an Uber or Lyft. When the cab arrives, I can just go out." I think your plan sounds the safest, but remember the climate towards Asian and Latino travelers has unfortunately changed, really. Even in New York City. From Penn Station, taking a cab to Hell's Kitchen wouldn't be too awful. I'm a middle-aged white woman and not scared in the New York City subway at night. It's no worse than BART in San Francisco. Okay. Maybe we can you can get cheap Broadway tickets. Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea too. I don't know um which plays he might have musicals he might have watched, but he's a classic guy. I see a lot of his stories at Carnegie Hall, like listening to the New York Philharmonic. Those tickets are probably expensive too, right? He's a man of class. If you still have your grad student ID, you can do student rush. Really? Even Korean grad student IDs too? They're in English though. Don't recommend walking from Penn Station to your friends with all your luggage looking like a tourist. Okay, I'll take an Uber then. Yeah. I did see Wicked and Lion King in Broadway. It was good. Okay, Lincoln Center. Okay, I'll look into all of your suggestions. But yeah, I'm debating on what kind of present I should get. If only he was in LA or no, actually the LA plan wouldn't work too because like I checked and the LAFC was playing against the Colorado something and the game was actually set in Colorado, so I wouldn't be able to see Sunny anyways in LA. Yeah. I was looking forward to maybe a Dodgers World Series game. That would have been fun. Mm. Hey, thank you so much. Here's something towards your Uber ride. Have fun in New
Here's
York.
something
Yes, thank
towards your
you. I
Uber
will
ride.
post
Fun in
all
New
my
York.
stories on just David 92 on Instagram. So go follow my New York journey. I usually am very dormant on Instagram on a daily basis, but when I travel, I post a lot. So see you there. Dreamgirls is coming back to Broadway? Really? I don't know what Dreamgirls is. Yeah, if it was like the US Open season, I'm 1 month late. Yes, I'm the new guest on SJ's Arirang radio show. Yes, I'll be there every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. KST. Hey, thank you so much, doll baby. Take the owner, oneer. Thanks for the $10. Pizza. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Uber. Oh, Uber. Okay, yeah, I'll take the Uber. I mean, I was planning to take the Uber anyways. Yeah, to comfort my mom. So yeah, I'm glad that whole hassle has passed now. I don't have to reserve tickets and all. I was late on the check-in because like 2 weeks prior is a tight window schedule, and everyone had already checked in already, so there weren't a lot of seats left. So I'm at the way back, and I didn't even get an aisle seat. I always like aisle seats. I never like window seats anyways because like they feel so stuffed. I would actually prefer a middle seat than a window seat because like for a window seat you have to say sorry 2 times to go to the bathroom. I don't like that. For the middle seat, at least you can only just like you can stretch your legs a little bit, and if you're skinny enough, if the person's skinny enough, you can just like pass through the person without like interrupting them. But like the window seat, that's impossible. So I never like window seats. So I got a middle seat. Um, on the way back, the tail side of the airplane, which is known to be the most dangerous in case of aircraft damage. Almost a 99% rate of death. Yeah, I shouldn't be joking about this shit, especially after seeing the whole what was it? Was it the Jeju Air incident? But airplane crashes don't happen that often. Car accidents happen more often, so I shouldn't be taking a taxi in that logic, right? So, anyways, not very scared of airplane flights. It's just that I like aisle seats because I have extra room, leg room. I can stretch my legs outside to the aisle. Sometimes I get to admire the beauty of the air flight attendants. But I don't know if the Air Premium flight
Penn Station
attendants
is a
are
no-go.
as
Around that
beautiful
time,
as
it was
Korean Air ones.
isolated.
So
I would suggest you take a cab.
that's gonna be
I will tell you
interesting.
why. I wouldn't do that.
Nicole, 1 a.m. at Penn Station is a no-go. At around that time is isolated. I would suggest you take a cab. I'm in New York. I wouldn't do that. Okay, thank you so much. It is now a consensus, and I've already thought of doing that, so thank you so much. I think you've already covered my cost from yeah, Penn Station to my friend's place. So it's $18 for train to Penn Station, and then ChatGPT says like 10 to 15 to my friend's place. There might be a midnight fare, who knows, but like it's gonna be like, do you have to tip in New York cabs? Gonna be like a $2 tip or something. David, I did not have to hear about the tail section and croaking off in flames. I don't believe in bad luck or anything. I'm a Christian. God is going to look after me. So, yeah. I've noticed like there are some people when I talk about like these bad luck scenarios to specifically a lot of people get, you know, um very anxious. I understand. You don't have to tip, but if it's nice to tip a cabbie, especially if they take good care of you. Oh well, then it's gonna be, they're probably gonna say like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm gonna be like Korea. If they ask that, I'll tip, because I wanna uh, make my country proud and set a good image. If they don't ask that, then no tip. How's that? Is that fair enough? Tip all over the place. I know how, you have to tip at restaurants, but like cabs are always a big debate. Please tip the taxi driver? Okay. Okay. $5? Really? You can tip if you want to. Since you're doing it through the app, it will let you choose which amount. Yes. Two was 6 to 7 years ago? Well, I'll use my foreigner card. I'll be like, oh, excuse me. Oh, here's the kitchen, please. Oh, yes, from Korea. Oh, New York, fantastic. So good. Oh, thank you. Good night. And they'll be like, oh, this guy is fresh off the boat. He doesn't know anything about this. And he won't even expect a tip. And then I give him a 2. He'll be like very delighted. Let me lower his standards and then give him a present.
Tip driver.
Tip driver, $5. Oh my gosh, now I'm obligated to tip him $5. Ah, I was planning to only give him 2. Like, isn't it standard for like if you get a $10 fare, like 20%, $2? Isn't that how the logic works? That's how I know. Like when I was in California, everyone was like it's probably 20, minimum is 20% of the whatever the service fee is, like the food cost. So applying that to taxis, if it wouldn't $2 be the right amount? If it's like 15, maybe 2.5s, $3. Then you will give the impression that all Koreans are cheap. Oh, really? Ah. Oh no, I will say like, oh, I love America. America so good. Oh, you so handsome. Oh, New York City. 짱이야, 짱. Good, good. Then give him $2. Sorry, no English. My English not good. Okay? Uh, address here, please. You know the one most used English word Koreans use overseas, especially in Southeast Asia, is? You know what it is? Like people like my mom or my grandparents would even know this word because everyone's educated on it. I'll be on Arirang Radio every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. KST. If you want to tune into the whole show when SJ is like hosting, it starts at 6 p.m. If I'm right. Yeah. So should I say, are you open-minded? And the taxi driver's like, you say what? And I'm like, are you open-minded? He's like, open-minded? What do you mean? Yeah, I'm open-minded. Like, ah, you open-minded? Oh, good. Oh, tip open-minded too? Okay. $2. $2 good? $2? 프리? 프리? 프리 라이드? 오, 좋아. Your fake foreigner act kind of sucks. Better just be a nice Kyopo. My dad actually like pulled that off a lot of times in the old days when he was in Baltimore. So we did a lot of road trips around like the 50 states. and we were in our Dodge Caravan. Oh yeah, that car, it's a nostalgia. A green Dodge Caravan with like those what do you call mountain goat emblem on top of it. It was my favorite car. I didn't know any other cars, but I thought my car was cool. I was always in the back seat playing my Game Boy. But yeah, we would be traveling on the highway to all these different states, and my dad would always be tuning into like West Virginia, something mountain, Shenandoah River, and stuff like that. And yeah, and he would always speed. He would always speed because you're on the highway and there's nobody there. And the cops would always get us. And he learned this parlor trick from our neighbor. We lived in like a Korean community place in Ellicott City of Baltimore. And this doctor that lived downstairs, he taught my dad how to like treat the cops when they caught us on the highway. So you stay still until they approach you, and if they knock on the door or something, you slowly pull down the window, and when they say like driver's license and whatever, you're speeding, blah blah blah, always act as if you're Japanese and you don't speak no English at all. So that's what he would do. I would still remember when I first heard him saying like, "Oh, hello? Ah, すみません。私、アメリカのポスト。おー、スピード、スピード。すみません、すみません. He would always speak Japanese. And the cop would be like, "Oh, y'all from Japan? Oh, okay. So, not really bright on the streets, like about the laws over here, something like that." And she's like, thank you, officer. Arigato gozaimasu. And the officer would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna just like let you go this time, but like next time, just watch your speed limit. It's like the speed limit's here, so you guys be safe." And he just leave us. And I saw him pull that for like I think more than 3 times, and it will work every time. And the logic was back then, the highest tier of Asians were Japanese people, and the Korean doctor that was our neighbor said like if you act like you're Japanese and you know nothing, you don't speak English, the officers would be tired to even like try to translate and like like go through giving you a ticket or whatever through to a foreigner, so they just like let you go. And it actually worked. So yeah, that was funny. That was funny as hell, and it actually worked like a couple times, I think. Yeah, so the sumimasen, yes, sumimasen and arigato. Uh, how did you not laugh the whole time? Because I thought it was freaking weird. I didn't even know what was going on. I was like 8 years old back then. How would I know what the hell he's doing? He's like speaking in a different language I've never heard of, and the only thing he's saying is "sumimasen, sumimasen." Nihon desu kara. Every Korean speaks that amount of Japanese. Like Nihonjin desu kara. Watashi no America no post time. Oh, sorry. Sumimasen. Abdi's just on my Game Boy playing Pokemon, and that'd be like extra validation. Like, are you guys really Japanese? And I'd flash my Pokemon device. Oh, you got a Pikachu over there. Yes, I'm appropriating the Japanese accent. I can do that because they were our colonizers and oppressors. Hello? Kim-san desu ka? Oh, そうですね。すごい。アメリカ。とってもいいですよ。アメリカ人、ポリス。スケリー、スケリー。So scary. Be careful. Good thing you never got an officer who knew Japanese or is Japanese. Why is that acting so weird? I don't know. Maybe I learned being this frugal from my dad. Not having to pay that Speed ticket. Ah, 데이비드 상. 데이비드 상. Someone gotta clip that. No, please don't clip that. No. Yeah. Take me home, country road. Oh yeah, that's the song. To the place I belong. Yeah. Sounds like an SNL skit. He could have spoken Korean, they wouldn't have known the difference. No, but like the logic was back then in the early 2000s, nobody knew that much about Korea. Like, Korea? Where the hell is Korea? Like, oh, I heard of like North Korea, but no, is it next to like, and they'd be like confused. So, we'd always go with like the Japanese act because like everyone knew Japan. Like everyone knew the sumimasen and the ni hao, but like ni haos would get us minus points to be honest. So yeah, our neighbor told us to stick with the sumimasen. But now we could say 안녕하세요 and they'd be like, "Oh, 안녕하세요. I know that. BTS, Squid Game. I put you on my Netflix." uh, Koreans making fun of Japanese is like my Mexican neighbors in LA making fun of white people or in the way white people order Mexican food. Yeah. It's not 3 a.m., it's 3 p.m. in South Korea. I changed the time zones. Now you sound like Hank Hill from King of the Hill. Who's Hank Hill? I know Hank from Breaking Bad. Yeah, so this is a definitely better time for me. And just to let you know, I'm gonna be clipping. I tried to do that with the last clip, but I failed. But with this one, I'm gonna be trying to. I'll try to like clip the news parts only into like a more condensed version, and put up like extracts of it on my KPC channel. My girl over here just like so comfy. She's been she's been like this for the whole time. So cute, right? She's just been laying her head like that for the whole time. David stroking doggo looks sketchy since doggo's out of frame. Oh my gosh. So I enter the chat with David speaking like Japanese, like an old Japanese man. Oh, you don't like my old Japanese man impersonation? Should I switch it up to Ruby-chan? Hi, nani ga suki? Chocominto. Should I do that? Oni-chan? Oni-san? Ah, kawaii. She so cute. It's a she. Doggo's ready for nappies. Yeah, she's been too comfortable on my lap for the past like 30 minutes. Moe moe. Pew. Oishiku nare. Oishiku nare. Moe moe. Pew. Anata. Baby the sun. Daisuki. No? Even worse? Or should I switch it up to like a gangster? Hey, kono yaro! Ore! Yare yare! Ah, boku wa kaizoku ni naru! What the fuck are you? I'm cracking you up with all these accents? Okay, maybe I should do more accents then. I can only do the accents of oppressors. That's the only safe accents I can do. Uh, Yes, gangster is good. Oi, oi, 오지さん. Ah. Use the Busan accent? I don't know how to do the Busan accent in English. 맞다, 아이가. 영어로 한 말해볼까? 영어로 말하면 어떻게 될란가? Hello, where are you from? You American? Oh, I love America. So good. Oh, Donald Trump. Ah, McDonald, so good. Big Mac, my favorite. It just all goes back to the Hongdae guy. I'm glad my mom's not home right now. Just act like a Japanese woman and NYC crazy people will avoid you at Penn Station. Oh yeah, that's a good strategy. Do a Texas cowboy accent. I always try the southern accent and it fails. Yeah. 도나르도 트럼프. 도나르도 트럼프. McDonaldo. She's actually watching you now? Oh no. I actually have a Levi Heicho. Levi Heicho T-shirt. This is from Attack on Titan. Shingeki no Kyojin. Shinjo Sasageo. If you know, you know. Southern accent is not easy. I'd like to follow the New York accent. That's very hard. The Italian American accent, you know, like when you hear from The Godfather or those movies. Doggo's eye is closed while the other is open slightly. Too cute. Just go around saying, "Do you know BTS?" Yeah, go on the taxi and like, "Do you know BTS?" Immediately. "Do you know BTS? BTS? Do you know Squid Game? Do you know Bong Joon-ho? Parasite?" Oh yeah, like going back. So the magical word everybody knows to use in Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, everywhere is mito. Could you guys guess what that means? Mito? I think I've seen my friends and my family use that word for like 1,000 times in Southeast Asia. Mito, 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 mito. Do you know what that is? Mito. Let's see if you understand Konglish. Oh yeah, you got it. For the cab, taxi meter, yes. Yes. So they don't scam you for the fare, exactly. It's for the taxi meter. So you get on a taxi and apparently a lot of people try to, up the price for tourists, especially Koreans. So once we get on the cab, the taxi driver usually says something to us we don't understand in their own language. So everyone just says like, "Oh no, meter, meter, meter. No, 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 meter, 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 meter." And the taxi driver keeps on saying like, even if it's in English, like Koreans don't understand the Southeast Asian English as well too. So they'd say something like, "Oh, from the airports to somewhere, it's like expensive. So you have to. There's no like customers over here, so you have to give me like a $30 fare or something." Blah 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 blah. They're explaining like that. I can barely hear it. I can understand, but like my friends would be like, "Ah, no, 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 meter, no. You know meter, we know ride." Okay? Meter, okay. No meter, not okay. And then like the taxi driver keeps on saying something, and then people will just get out of the cab and they'd be like, ah, okay, okay, meter, meter. Come in, meter, okay. And then they put on the meter and they'd be like, ah, kind of salty and grumpy, like, ah, okay. I'm from the Philippines, even we remind them to use the meter. Can you do Singlish? A little bit, but I feel like people will get offended. But Singlish is complete with one word. It's can. Ken? Ken. Ken Ken. Ken Ken. That's it. That's English for you. Ken? Ken. Cannot. Cannot. No Ken. Doesn't everybody use Kakao Taxi in Southeast Asia? I don't know. I don't think there's Kakao Taxi over there. I think it's Grab. I've used Grab a lot. I've heard BTS always use okay, let's go. Excuse me. Yeah, those are the basics. Like if you want to start a conversation, you'll say excuse me. And like for confirmation, okay, let's go. Do you use Grab in the motherland? Yeah. I've used Grab. I used like Grab delivery when I was in like Bali and everywhere. Oh, the la, yeah. Okay, la. Okay, la. Singlish is Singaporean English. It's very hard to understand in the beginning, but once you live there for like a couple months, like you understand. They kind of speak like this. No, that's very bad. Uh, I'm not trying to like be racist or anything, okay? I'm trying to just impersonate my experience there. Like, it's so hard. It's not. It's in the middle of like Indian accent with British accent, I would say. Uh, yeah, it's just so hard to impersonate. Mhm. Actually, if you go to Marina Bay, uh, it's so hard. So hard. I can't. And I'm scared that people will be offended. So let me not do it. Singaporeans weren't our oppressors, so I can't do that. But maybe I can do Chinese. No, actually, the Chinese English accent is pretty hard too. Yeah. The doggo's name is Jumsoon. Jumsoon. Oh, she's like, leave me alone. Like, don't interrupt my sleep. Yeah. Wow. Woohoo! I got a 50 from Anna. 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 Shout out to Anna. Thank you so much. Wow, on PayPal. Thank you so much. Woo! Woohoo! Some travel money. Missed it. When you coming to NY? I'm going on from the 14th to the 19th. 19th. So technically, I'll be staying there from the 5th. When I land, it's already gonna be like midnight on the 14th. So technically, 15th to the 18th, night of the 18th, because I need to fly over to LA on the 19th. So yeah, not gonna have a lot of time because I'll be busy with the events. So only the 15th is like a day, probably booked with my friend, and then maybe some like patches of time on dinner or maybe lunch. Maybe if the event isn't that like um that busy, I might go outside and enjoy. Win W Anna. Yes, nice Anna. Thank you so much. Oh wow. Holy Christ. Oh my gosh. What the hell? Bitcoin is at its all-time high again. It's at $125,000 right now. It's going crazy. What? That is actually crazy. What kind of age are we living in? One Bitcoin is $125,000, folks. Can you believe that? That is actually crazy. It's going over the roof. My gosh. Ugh. If I only had more bought earlier. I like the time of this live, David. Thank you. Yeah, like 233 people are tuning in. How much was it back then? Zero. And I started Bitcoin when I was in 2017, and I remember it peaked at like $15,000 back then. And I was trading Bitcoin at 2017 and with penny money, and I got so happy with my gains that I bought like all my friends at university, and my friends, like I think seven of them, I treated them like a full course Chinese meal at our semi basement room apartment for like the DKDK reactions, because like I was trading Bitcoin at school, and like I put in like maybe $100 and gained like I think $400 from it, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm printing money. And then I spent like $100 on like the meal, and I put in more money, like $500 from like this video contest prize award, and then I was like printing money. I was making like $1,000, $2,000, and I'm like in my group chat, like, guys, I'm gonna be riding a Porsche by like next month, okay? So y'all are invited on my like passenger seat of my 911. If I just didn't sell, like buy and sell, and just hold it, held, hodled from back then, from $15,000 to $125,000 now, I would have gotten that Porsche or maybe an apartment. FML, fuck my life. Yeah. And then 2021 was the other peak, and it went all the way to, I think, probably like 60 to 70K or something like that, and now we're trading at 125K. A lot of people think it's gonna go all the way up to like at least 500K now that Wall Street and the US government is backing it. So who knows? But I think this cycle is at almost at its peak. So better not go in now. Don't take this as any financial advice. I am a person, after all, that missed out on the whole the biggest get rich get rich opportunity I had. So yeah, gold is going like crazy nowadays too. But the more you print the dollar, gold is gonna go up. Anyways, oh, I'm getting quite hungry. Is my mom back home? Should I order some food? So I'm gonna chop this stream up anyways. Those who are in favor of continuing this stream, hands up, type 1. Those who are in favor of me getting rest, ending the stream, type 2. Like, be honest, okay? Like, if you got your own day to go, or like have to go to sleep, or if you're gonna tune out, type 2. If you want me to stream more, order some food, just chat with you guys, type 1. Because I got nothing better to do anyways. I mean, I'm just gonna probably nap or chill a little bit. Hey, we got another PayPal. Boom, boom. Maybe I should keep on going. For New York Pizza, thanks for the fun chat. And thank you so much. Pizza! Pizza! Oh, biceps? Oh, 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 oh. No, I got no biceps. It's monoceps. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. Rest is for losers. Okay, wow. Some pep talk there. Time for you to rest. Me too. Sent you $10 for New York Pizza. Thank you so much, Annie B. I'll go get that New York Pizza for sure. Do I have church today? I'll do online service. Yeah, I missed my early church service because I was working overnight. Bye, Francisca. Bye bye. Yeah, this is just gonna be a chill talk from now on. So sleep is for the weak. So there are a lot of ones. So maybe I'll just do like until my food arrives. But I can tell you a story about pizza in New York. I've probably told this story like a gazillion times. But oh, should I order chicken? Actually, you know what? Let me call my mom if she wants chicken. I wanted to eat with her. Yeah, because she's leaving today, right? Yeah, she's leaving today, so let me order chicken and leave some for her. You have a question? Go away. Yeah. Okay, maybe I'll eat something light and then eat chicken with my mom later. Let me just eat something very light. Something I can put in the freezer again afterwards. 김밥? 오토김밥. 오토김밥 맛있겠는데? You guys know 오토김밥? Oh, they're closed? What? Really? Aw, that's a bummer. I wanted 오토김밥. Never mind. I'll just order chicken with my mom later. I'll just chat on for a little bit. Maybe I'll have something to eat at home. Oh, my dog was like so asleep. Introduce mom? No, never. She's never going to appear on my stream. Never. No, I actually haven't applied yet. It's been so busy. I've been pumping out reels. Would that be Chuseok chicken? I don't know if there's a thing called Chuseok chicken, but yeah, technically it would be. Good night, Annie B. Chuseok. It is holiday in Korea. It is. Do you like Panda Express? I love Panda Express. I love Panda Express. There's only like one store here, which is overpriced. Guys, let me just go look if I got any snacks to munch on. Oh! I went to the convenience store yesterday and bought a 2+1 snack deal. Yes! And it's right behind me. I am so happy. I munched on 2 snacks yesterday night. But this one. Oh! It's a garlic baguette. Taste. Sun chips. Garlic baguette. Okay, this will do. Yeah. So I'll stream until the end of this package. This pack. Garlic baguette. Garlic baguette. BTS said there is a Panda Express in Seoul. It's in Yeouido IFC Mall. It's a small little corner, but it's usually for like fancy folks. That mall. It's like the Wall Street, so I don't know why, but Panda Express is considered like kind of up there. It's expensive. I'm having a hard time opening this up. Ugh, there we go. Sun chips. All right. Yes, this is the perfect amount of food that I just need, just in time. Sun chips. Back to baguettes again. Mmm, so good. Yeah. So good. So I got roasted when I said I tried New York pizza, but it was Subaru. Yeah, I told this multiple times, but I was staying near Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden? Madison Beer Garden? Madison Square Garden, right? What's Madison Beer Garden? Why does it sound feel familiar? Anyways, I was staying there, our hotel. Right across it, there was this big place called Sbarro. It had nice seating. So, went there, had some pizza, and then I think I uploaded on my Instagram story or something. And people were like, "No, you did not. You did not eat Sbarro all the way from Korea to New York." I was like, "I'm sorry. It was like $1 or something, so I thought this was $1 pizza." And they're like, "No, you should go to like this dollar pizza stand or that, whatever." Oh, there's another story. I'm just confessing all my crimes. I hope the what do you call them? The TSA doesn't look at my streams. I did only write my Instagram account for social media on the ESTA visa application, but when I went to New York, um, I had another friend staying there. So after our sponsored period of the trip, obviously I need to vacate the hotel, and I didn't want to spend money on accommodation again. So I looked for a friend and I contacted like an old high school friend, and he was living in the neighboring area of New York, but not in New York City, not Manhattan, not Brooklyn or anywhere like that. But he was um he was living in this like town or one area that has a huge Nepalese community. Like the whole neighborhood was like a Nepalese community somewhere. I was like, I'm down. Yeah, if I could couch surf, I could sleep on your couch, save some bucks. And yeah, so which Insta account? Just David. Have a JD Vance on your meme? So yeah. So in order to get to his house, we couldn't go by the New York City Metro, so we had to take this train or this other kind of line that goes outside of New York City. And my friend was a bartender who worked in Koreatown, and he would get off work like by 11:30 or something, and he would take. I was at his bar, and we closed together, and he was like, "Run," so I was like running with him, and he ran to this station, this big station, and we hopped on this train, and we got on it, and he said like it's the first stop. He gets off at the first stop. So I'm committing a crime over here. He's like, I'm actually outing him too. He doesn't live in New York anyways, but he said for this train, the system's like, the train officer or someone walks from like the both ends of the train compartments like towards the middle, and they check the tickets. So we got on the middle compartment, and because we were the first stop, like we could see the employee checking tickets on like two compartments away from us. And then once the first stop came, like we just hopped off, and I was like, "Wow, did we just not pay for the train?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I do this every day." It's like, "Oh wow, okay, sounds so New York. I feel like a New Yorker now." I'm sorry, guys. I should have probably paid, but to be fair, I didn't know what I was doing. He just guided me that way. Joe's Pizza or Lucali Pizza. Okay, I need to memo that. But I'll probably end up going to one of those Korean neighbor blog places. Let's see what Korean neighbor blogs say are the best pizza in New York. If there are any New Yorkers here, please verify. New York pizza 맛집. Let's see. So I'm looking on Naver, and it says number 1, Joe's Pizza. Peter Parker on Spider-Man did a part-time here, apparently. Okay. And what else? What are these places? East Village, Una Pizza Napoletana. John's Pizza of Bleecker Street. New York Pizza Suprema. L'Industrie Pizzeria. Mama's 2, next to Central Park, Upper West Side. I don't know if these are legit pizzas or not. You can probably get all these K snacks at H Mart. Nowadays, like all these Korean stuff. Last time I went, they're all in H Mart. I remember that H Mart in Koreatown too. It was a small one, but they had everything for sure. Very overpriced though. All right, I'm almost emptied this bag. So if you have any questions or things you want to talk about, now's your chance. Probably going to be the last topic for today. And I'm going to go into a nap before I order chicken with my mom and take her to the train station. Just opened an H Mart in Orlando. Oh, that's nice. What pastor? Who's getting arrested? I don't know about that. Mmm, so good. Garlic baguette. Everyone's just like silent now. But it's weird because like 220 people are still watching. You are too young to take daytime naps. I like naps. I think we should adopt that Spanish culture. where they take like daily naps, daytime naps, whatever you call them. I forgot. Are you okay to talk about Diddy's verdict? I'm okay to talk about it, but I don't know what his verdict is. Siesta, yes. Korean people not talking about Kim Soo-hyun. Nobody cares. Naps are underrated, yes. They are essential. I mean, naps, for me, naps are like a car at a gas station. Oh, it's 2:30 a.m. there. Okay, soon bedtime. Okay, we have a big question. Was that your question, Big X? How do you foresee the Korean pivoting once the Hallyu wave isn't as strong as it is now? I don't think I quite understand your question. How do you foresee the Korean wave give pivoting once the Hallyu wave isn't as strong as now? Is that what you're saying? Is give wave? Uh, well, I've always had this theory that Korea is gonna be the Japan status as how Japan is perceived all around the world. Japanese culture isn't like trendy or there's no hype around it, but it's all over the place. It's not like a niche. Everyone knows about it. Like everyone loves Japanese cuisine, sushi and udon and tonkatsu and everything. And J-Rock is pretty established too. Anime is huge and among communities, all ethnicities. So I think it's gonna be. I think it's like a rooting phase. It's an expansion and rooting phase right now. So people are getting more exposed to it. So people won't have that like allergic effect to like, oh, that's something exotic. It's like, oh, it's K-pop. Okay, yeah, I've heard of K-pop, and might give it a shot. K-dramas have made their names on Netflix, so people just like watch it without any kind of repulsive um, atmosphere. So I think it's gonna be like that. Korean food. It's like like there was a very interesting assessment from a critic, I think. So if you see the American dramas nowadays, um, it's like there. How did the person put it? So in American dramas, like I don't know, The Suits or these like city dramas, right? Like Sex and the City or whatever. If you look at them, the main characters when they're doing like office work or whatever, the lines would be like, "You want to go? Do you want to grab some like Chinese or like do you want to grab some sushi or like I know this great Thai place at like somewhere." So it always used to be either Chinese, Japanese, and Thai, but a lot of people have been seeing that being replaced to Korean, like Thai being replaced to Korean nowadays, or maybe even Japanese being replaced to Korean in the scripts. And usually these actors would go to like a New York restaurant that has like Japanese vibes or Thai vibes or Chinese vibes, but most of those locations have been swapped into like Korean, and the waitress would speak Korean to them, and they would exchange some kind of like Korean themed dialogue, whether it's like, oh yeah, oh can I have like a bulgogi or like bibimbap or something like that, and they talk about some Korean stuff, extra lines. I've noticed that too, and I think that's how it's getting like integrated, you know, even in mainstream media. And yeah, like what's interesting about the K wave is I think it started off from dramas, definitely in East Asia and Southeast Asia first. That's the first wave of the Hallyu with Winter Sonata and Daejanggeum and everything like that. And then K-pop, second gen, started to like branch off. Third gen BTS, Blackpink really just expanded it globally to like North America, Europe, and all that. But back then it was confined to just like dramas. There were always the hardcore drama fans and the K-pop fans. But now that's like gotten bigger and it's expanded to like these are becoming like the gateways to Korean culture. So people consume Korean dramas and listen to K-pop and watch the idols on V Lives and their vlogs and watch what they're eating, what they're dressing, how they're, you know, what they're doing in general. And they're like, what is that? That's very interesting. And they dig into like food and like beauty and lifestyle, everything like that. So K-pop, K-drama serves at like a entry point, and then it all spreads out from that. And usually it would be like a subgenre, but K-food and K-beauty has gone so big, it's not even like a subgenre anymore. Like the dynamics have reversed. So a lot of people worldwide would like some people would know brands like I don't know, like these big Korean beauty brands, or they would know Korean fried chicken, but not know K-pop or haven't watched a K-drama before. So that was very rare in the old days. Like, you know, it was always like a funneling direction from K-pop, K-dramas to that. But now, because like this segment, the food and beauty and whatever sector has become so big, people experience this first because it's all widespread. There's new shops popping up here and there, like people have hype against like Asian food, so they experience that, and then they go back and like, oh, you know what? I tasted like Korean food is tastes amazing, and they try out Korean dramas, and it's like, whoa, what have I been missing? So that's very interesting. Like the entry point has kind of changed, and the subgenres have like become like major genres that are independent, or that are not dependent from K-pop and K-drama. Yeah, so there's like this whole bulldog challenge, Korean ramen. Netflix really had a very big role in proliferating everything. K beauty is massive, yeah. So even if you're not interested in K drama or K pop, people will just be like introduced to K beauty products their influencers are promoting on YouTube, and yeah, and then they slowly get into like Korean culture and dramas. So it's very interesting. I think my mom came, so suffering in 48-bit videos on early YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Hmm. In the West, eating sushi is being sometimes portrayed in media as being cultured. Yeah, like I'm saying, nowadays, some portions of it is switching to Korean as well too. They're like want to go to a K BBQ place. I wouldn't say it's like cultured, but it's like, you know, if you want to get out of the box and go to like a nice place, like with some soju or whatever, the grilling aspect is a little like picturesque too, good on the film. So yeah, I'm happy. APEC 2025, way to go. Anyways, guys, okay, it's been 3.5 hours. My mom has arrived, and that's why I've lowered my voice. We're gonna order some chicken, probably together, and walk my dog probably at the park, and I will say farewell to her on her train to Busan. All right. So it was nice chatting with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who supported me through PayPal and Super Chat. Check out my Patreon if you want to see my review for 어쩔 수가 없다, Park Chan-wook's recent film. I did like an hour review on it, so I mean maybe you can watch it first and then listen to it, but or maybe you can listen to the review first and determine if it's your cup of tea or not. So just putting it out there. See over here. You can check it out. If you go to my community tab on KPC, there's like a 5-minute preview of it where you can listen to the first 5 minutes. I gave it a 7 out of 10. So yeah, and please do go check out my Instagram at Daily David Kim, where I post almost daily videos. I've been trying to push myself to post daily videos. That was why I was up late yesterday editing that video, trying to finish that one. But yeah, I try to post like daily vlogs and stuff, but the algorithm's been boosting like my like money hacks and how to survive in Korea videos a lot. So I've kind of been focusing on that for the past 2 videos, but I'll be making more lifestyle vlog style videos like this one here. A lot of people like this one as well too, where I showed my journey with my doggo to Han River with my friend and talking about this crazy episode that happened. So there will be more vlogs like this for sure. In the meantime, I'm just uploading like hacks for you to know in Korea to utilize these. I know all these money hacks because I'm such a penny pincher. Yeah, like these money hacks. Interesting Chinese cuisines and debates. Michelin guide restaurants. BTS skits. Yeah, I'm gonna do skits as well too. So more of a reason to subscribe. A daily slice of life laughs and comfort from Seoul, South Korea. Please go follow me. Okay, guys. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment if you like it. Share it, and yeah, everything. All right. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Will there be a live during the week? During the week, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be like a weekly thing because I'm doing the shorts. I'm going to cut this into like a proper video and all that. So I'll be pretty occupied. And I've noticed that there isn't a lot of like news. Um, so yeah. So for the live streams, I'll just do one long live stream where I talk about my daily life in the second half and for the news in the first half. All right. Yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks. Have a nice day. Have a nice sleep. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.